Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new Manor Lords adventure. In this series we're diving into a fun experimental build that kind of pushes the boundaries of medieval city building. It's part strategy, a little bit of chaos, so hit that like button to help with the YouTube gods and let's get this party started. Oh, this is perfect. Look at this. We have our berries, we have our wild animals, a perfect cliffside starting area. This is a great start. We're going to have the best farmland and a nice little peninsula. So what we're going to do is build out a new design of mine. It's been used before, but not quite in the way that I'm about to show you. Now where I place some of my buildings is going to be largely dependent upon where the barley fertility is highest. And we're going to make a really cool city. So the barley fertility throughout this whole area is superb. So the houses I think are going to go here with the farmland extending out this direction. And the industry can be done all the way up against this cliffside, kind of making it awesome. With our only rich deposit being the animals, this is exceptionally great a food build. And this is going to help us maintain our food varieties. I'm going to place a circle around this area. That way people move around it instead of going inside of it, which sounds weird. And for our berries over here, we're going to get a forager hut just so we can see where all the berries are. And then we'll place a farm plot around it to protect it from accidents. What happens is sometimes the berry bushes can be destroyed when they're cutting the trees down from the logging camp. And it also prevents you from just accidentally placing buildings down, which is a good way to keep everything clean. But this will just allow me to, have a nice little area, not worry about screwing up. So what we want are 3 houses that are next to where the wood is stored to get them up as quickly as possible. These are going to be double burgage plots. We're going to do them just straight up on the road right here. This is a perfect spot for all this. So we got 3 burgage plots right here. Perfect. We're going to get those up. We're going to order our second ox. We're going to get up a hitching post. I'm going to get a road that kind of goes naturally with the landscape, but this is going to be an entire industrial sector down here. And then the veggie burgage plots are going to start over here and be connected. The majority of the wild animals will have a granary here. This is actually an amazing, amazing location for the idea that I had. Next thing I want to do is get up a logging camp. I'm just going to get that up right here. I'm going to prioritize the logging camp. Ignite everything. All right. And we're off to the races. So we just need to get everything here built. It's going to be wonderful. And so I'll show you all the steps and explain everything. Logging camp is up. We're going to boot this immediately to 3 people. We need 2 logs per expansion on each of those houses. And because I protected the berries, I don't need to worry too much. So we have this massive area for logging right here. This is beautiful. And hopefully we get another ox in soon. There's a bit of delay on the ox. You can either get it in the first month or the second month. They added a randomness to it. And I'm glad we didn't have to move the animals. That's great. I have everybody focused on either logs or building houses. All right, we got 4 lumber, so let's upgrade this house. Once this is built, we'll upgrade this house. Now, the point of this is if you build all housing and you have 1 extra housing spot, you'll hit 50% approval at the beginning of April, and you'll get your 6th family member. And that's crucial for the next stage where we have to get leather, 2 types of food, and all of that jazz. All right, 3rd house up. Let's do more lumber, and we can improve that one as well. All right, we're there. I'm going to boot the logging camp down to 2 people. We're going to speed this up. We're going to place where we think we want the granary worker to be. So we need to get up the storehouse and granary at some point here soon. I'm going to place the hunter. I think I'm going to place it here. And for the time being, we're going to have a storehouse over here, this here. We're going to place our market stalls right here in this clearing. We're never going to have 59 market stalls, so don't worry. We don't have to worry about the well until we're going to tier 2, which we'll need to do soon so we can start getting bows, because we're on the hardest difficulty. We don't get any weapons from when you build the storage shed. We don't have armaments on, so we will have to get weapons up ASAP. Next thing I want to do is build a road out from this berry, going down right yonder, right to where the hunting camp is. I'm most likely going to put the granary kind of at a midpoint. That way it's not having to go too far. We're going to build ourselves a forager hut. Got to get this house up before the beginning of April. I think we're in good shape. I'm cutting it a little close, but we'll be there. As long as we have everyone in a house, which we do, we'll hit 50% approval. And as long as we have this built by the end of the 1st on April, we'll get the 2nd person. We did it on the 29th. Perfect. So we're going to hit that 59% mark. So we're going to place 1 individual into the hunting camp. Increase the prioritization of the forager. We're going to place a granary right here. I'm going to take a lead road down the bottom part of the market, make it easier for people to kind of move. This is great. All right, we're pulling in the meat now. Got the granary going. Next thing I want to do is get that storehouse going. We just got the 6th family member. We're going to get the storehouse right here on a... Actually, let's... Yeah. At a certain point when I get into trade, I'm going to have trade items in a storehouse parallel from each other. We'll get into having separate storehouses and how to do that later. All right, let's get one individual into the forager. And once this granary is fully built, we'll be able to get food into the market and get the bonus from food. Perfect. One individual into the granary. One individual into the storehouse. We're going to pull one person out of the logging camp. We also need to start getting up our next house. I unfortunately am just going to need to straight up get a double burgage plot because I won't have enough time for them to build things out. I just need to get this up immediately. So I think what we're going to do is take this spot right here and dedicate this to another burgage plot. Perfect. We're also going to want to get a woodcutter up. Just getting firewood into the market will give you a positive that should keep us above 50%. Woodcutter's Lodge. And we can place this realistically anywhere. I think I'm going to place it right here. Perfect. We have a rich deposit, so we want to take this to 20. Now, one of the advantages of having that rich deposit is things are going to go really well in the meat department and the berry department. It's going to be really easy for us to have 2 food types. And we just need to get that house up before the end of the year, so I am going to prioritize this to the highest. All right, perfect. We're not going to expand until we get the next family member. If you're expanding that slot, if I expand this house, the slot's not open for someone to move into. I've done this so many times to myself in other plays, so I've learned the hard way. All right, we hit 50%. Beginning of the year, we have an open slot. Got the family. Perfect. So now you can expand. And now we have 2 people. We have the Woodcutter's Lodge, so now we have firewood coming in. He won't need to be a full-time worker because we can get about 8 or 10 months off that gent. The next thing we need to do is get a saw pit. I'm going to place the saw pit right behind all this jazz right here. So I might even be able to get a road through here. Holy cow, yes. So we got the saw pit next to the logging camp, next to the storehouse, so they can move the boards quicker and they can get the logs quicker. This is actually really wonderful. We're going to move these hitching posts to the right side of the logging camp just to kind of get this area clear if I want to do some more industry and such. So let's get a nice little road. So we have, with the expansion of this house, we have 1 more month worth of area for someone to move into. I have 9 timber. We're going to start getting boards. We're going to get the church up. We're going to get a leather maker up. We're going to start moving in the right direction here. So what I have going on is that I need to kind of pick the area that I'm going to do for the main settlement in the main city. I think houses will kind of just go throughout this whole area in a natural way. But the farm and super bender burgage plots, flexo burgage plots, whatever you want to call them, are going to be generally in this area. So we're going to build a super farming area. And it's going to be fantastic. So let's go to the field tool and let's look at barley fertility. So we can see that barley fertility really takes off above this mark. So the houses should definitely be right here. So what I think I'm going to do is use a corpse pit as a basis for where the farmhouse should go and give it enough room. Perfect. And we're going to have ourselves a parallel road. I kind of like to have things that look a little, unique. So I like it when things don't totally line up because you can do cool stuff and add a little character to everything. So I think that this is going to be it. So we're going to have a parallel road like so as the middle ground for windmills and all types of stuff to go along with the farming. And that will connect to this road. So this is going to look pretty cool. And then from here, we can have it go off in a few directions like so around the granary. So we have a granary here, potential for more granaries all along this area. But now we're in excellent shape to do the next step. I'm going to have a parallel road right here as the basis. And now we can go into creating the flexo design. So what we're going to do is have 1 corpse pit here. And it does look like we hit a little snag. So I'm just going to boot this up a tad bit more. Perfect. So yeah, what we're gonna have is a parallel road. Goes like this. Good enough. We can put something cool in there. So this will be the first. Wonderful. And we already have the majority of this, so I just need to go over like such, all the way to the tip like that, and then corner it. Now, I've skipped a very important step, which is making sure that everything is parallel to this corner and this corner so that my snap points are right. But I think I can get it to work because of the angle, but we'll try. So this will be the first veggie burgage plot. That is 3.5 corpse pits. From this corner to this corner, third point all the way up. So, decent, but don't like it. Try from this point to this point. This is the third, don't like it. We can try different thirds. Ooh, I kind of like that one. Oh, that's probably the best one right there. That's really good. We just lose a little bit. So this will be the collection points. That's a really good walking distance for all of these. Perfect. And then the next step is getting the farmland all out. So what we're going to do is have the strip farming go all the way. And so this will be half a Morgan, but they'll be able to plow this very quickly. The design is have all the farming in between. I just think conceptually it's going to look really neat. And these will need to be a bit wider than the other. And you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. So these are going to be 0.4. We have one extra, but I think it all kind of works out. But yeah, we're going to have the strips. We're going to have the burgage plot, farming in between. Same thing over here with the strips. Everything's doing really well. We're running out of fuel, but not for long. All right, we got the fuel coming in now. We're going to be in good shape, tip-top shape. Let's look at our food situation. We have 15 meat. We don't want to pull that. We have 62 berries. I don't really want to pull that either. Get rid of this corpse pit. We don't need them building that. A lot of food. We're going to do veggies. We're going to have more cool stuff. I'm going to just kind of build things the way that I think they should be built and just have fun with this build, you know? We're doing so well. Look at that. All that meat. All those berries. All right, we're at 100%. Going to prioritize the saw pit and the burgage plot here, but things are going well. Ooh. Looks like we hit 48%. 49%, so we did not get the leather maker up on time. You know, and that's my fault for looking at all the pretty stuff, but that's okay. Yeah, we're doing great everywhere else though. Having 7 people though at the start is fantastic. All right, saw pits up. Go to advanced tab. We're gonna set a timber reserve of 5 because that's how much we need for the church. Once you get the church up, you're golden. And we're gonna set a plank limit of 40 for the time being. The next thing I want to get up is leather. Nice. We're gonna get the tannery up. I think I'm going to place the tannery right here. And have ourselves a little road going to the corner here. Perfect. All right, so the next thing I want to do is line everything up for the next Plexo design. So that's where this all lines up, where all that lines up. Perfect. And we want this to be straight just for the time being. A lot of this stuff I'm going to remove, so don't worry. Perfect. Now I can remove pretty much all these roads. I'm going to draw all this out. Pull this to this road here. Remove the corpse pits. This one's going to be unique. It's going to have a curve in it, but I think it's going to make it nice. So 2 points. Pull to the third. Pull to the fourth. Look at that. That's a good one right there. It's a little different from its brother. It's actually a lot of different. So let's redo this part here. Pull that out. You want this to look a little right. Okay, cool. That looks nicer. There we go. We lose a little bit at the top. We gain so much. Perfect. This is great. But we can run. I think it'd be smart to run this road parallel here. We'll keep this. This is great. So we got this little inner area here. Farming and all types of stuff. And I think we can actually put more farm up this way too. So this will look great. Now I do kind of want to keep the consistency. I like the way that this kind of turns. So I'm gonna copy this, right? And we can make it a little different. We're gonna copy it, have it be kind of like a little fork in the road type scenario. I like it. I like it a lot. And let's get the rest of the farm plots up. So what I think we're gonna have here is a farm here. Let's pause real quick because we can actually get the farms up. So if I put a farm here, not enough goods. Cool. We got enough room for 2 farms here. We got enough room for a windmill right here behind everything. 91% efficiency. That's really good. The tannery is going up. So windmill there, maybe a couple bakeries in this area. Everything here is golden. So these are going to be veggies. Now the apples are going to be done on a separate plot. And you can go a little crazy on apples because they don't need to be as specialized, to be quite honest. You can get away with a lot more with apples. So we're going to turn off the snap to road tool. Now remember, our goal is to go for 4 to 0.5 Morgans. This game can sometimes round in weird ways, so 4 can be closer to 5 than you think. 0.4. I've noticed that you get just exceptionally good yields pretty much all the time. 0.4. We got 3, and then that way we can kind of count. But look how cool that this is going to look already. You can kind of see what I'm going for here. So this one's a little bit different than this guy over here, as you can see, just because of the way the road's curved. But, you know, we're doing everything we can to make this make sense. I think these are going to be more than enough, so we have 15. Perfect. We're going to have 3 rotations, so that's 5 per. So we have the perfect amount for doing all types of rotations. We can have other things up here, but this is going to be the farming area and all of that jazz. Now, what I'm actually thinking is what we do is we make apple burgage plots in this area, and we do it kind of in a unique way. So this is going to be something I'm just making up off the spot. We're going to place a hitching post to create a circle design here. I have no idea where I'm going with any of this, so stay tuned to see if I come up with something cool or not. Last circle is decent. Rid of this. And we can place an apple granary in the middle of this at some point. Let's see if just make sure this is big enough. Yep. Place a granary right there in the center. So what I am thinking is, from the center of this, we have a connection. And we just have some cool little apple orchard houses going around the half circle here. And we can make these pretty crazy. I think what we're going to do is try to keep all points as equal as possible. So the best way to do that is just to take the center of this, go all the way down, and then do corner to corner like this. It's never going to be perfect, but the idea is that it is cool. So we do have an extra area that we could do more farming in. To make this all kind of wrap up, I'm gonna have to. What we're gonna do is place an outside road for people to travel parallel to all of this. That's great. Like I said, not everything in life has to be absolutely amazingly perfect. And then over here, we're gonna have just an extra little bit of farming. But these guys are gonna be big. Yeah, this is gonna be 0.6. This should actually do the majority of everything. As long as you don't go over 1, for the most part, the ox can handle all the plowing. So 1 is the most. And it's cool. You can have things be a little different. It's not that big of a deal. Now, to keep consistency, I would love to have more on this side, but I think we're going to leave it just a little inconsistent. Inconsistencies, sometimes, if done right, can sometimes make a build look more natural. Alright, so these ones actually, you can see these shapes, these are really easy to do apples in. These guys right here, these are much harder. So we're going to have to be a little smart in how we do this. I'm going to have to set this up in a way that gives me the best possible result. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So these 4 plots right here are going to be really good for everything. And we can do something extra with this. But in order to get these apple plots to be efficient and cool looking, we're going to need to do this. And we'll have to play around with this until we get it right. All right, this is a pretty good one. We just don't have enough goods. So let's get all the goods that we need. And then we'll have our apples there with the granary there and a granary here. This will all kind of tie together. It will help with farming. It's going to look neat. I think we're in really good shape right now, to be quite honest. The woodcutter's going. Cannery is going to be the highest prioritization right now. Let's get that going. I think I'll put the church around these parts. I'm going to put one person back into the logging camp. Berries are doing pretty well right now. So we're going to pull the dude out of the forager hut so we have someone to build. Alright, we did it. We got a settlement level increase. So the first thing that I'm going to do is open up orchardry so that we have everything we need for that. This burgage plot is now up. We're going to slap in a veggie garden. Now you can see because of this angle right here, this all got, we lost a lot from that. So that wasn't something I had factored in. You may have to redo these. I think it's because this pushed in up here. So we're going to destroy this whole house and replace it. That was not ideal, not the ideal thing to happen for us. That's what happens when one thing is wonky on a uniform build. Okay, I think that this will be done right. We got a nice angle here. We'll place that house. Of Fortunately, we lost a little bit of money, but that's okay. I will recover. What we need to do is start building an army as fast as humanly possible. So yeah, we have nothing. We need to get to tier 2. So I also want to build a small house at some point that's just a single burgage plot with a backyard extension so that we can start making bows as fast as possible. Cannery's here. Let's get cannery going. I'm going to take the individual out of the saw pit. We need 5 wood and we can build a church. This will put us at 5 burgages, so that's pretty sweet. We can, with the common goods store, we can have enough leather and firewood to hit 100% at 5 plots open. But we're going to go above that pretty soon here. Perfect. So once we get more people there. All right, church can now go up. Let's get the church going. I think we're going to want to upgrade this storehouse because we're getting full. So let's do that. We got everybody doing their thing. I'm going to pull the guys out of the logging camp. I'm going to pull people out of wood cutting because I think we have, what, 36 months. Get everyone building that we possibly can. Get everybody growing. This is perfect. We're in good shape. And as soon as I can start getting bows, we can start stealing bandit camps, and that will allow me to hire mercenaries. Another thing I want to do is start getting the trade post up because we're gonna need that. We're gonna need money bad. I want to get it as close to the storehouse as possible so we can place it here. Not bad. Church is up. Perfect. Let's get one individual back into the logging camp. That's gonna put us up. We're gonna start getting more families coming in now. Get these houses built. The farms are gonna look great. All right, let's try this one more time. Perfect. Yeah, so you can't have that corner bent in. That's what I'm learning. I think we're actually gonna demolish this before it's built so we don't waste the wood and redo it. Now that I know that it was that corner piece messing everything up, we're in good shape. All right, cool. We got the farmhouse prepped and ready to go if we want to start expanding at some point. This is looking beautiful, I'm not gonna lie. We have 2 open living spaces, so I will expand that. Just make sure you have 1 open living space before you do expansion so you don't miss out getting those people. All right, we're back on easy street now. We have enough berries, in my opinion, for everybody. Everything is in really good order right now. We don't need too many boards. We want to get family into here and upgrade this to a tier 2 burgage plot. So we do need water access at this point. Getting into tier 2 is vitally important so that we can defend ourselves. So ooh, nice, look at that. We're gonna place the well right here where everybody has access to it. I do think at some point they're gonna make the well important, but yeah, we're above 50% now. So this is where the game really does take off for you. And we have, yeah, we had just enough money for that guy. Cool. So now we need to focus on making cash. All right, point there, point there. Probably selling boards is gonna be one of the easiest ways for us to really start getting money. But let's just make sure that we take that principle into account, that we do not chop the corner up. But I think we can do better. Do 3 points. Point there. Yeah, look at that. We cannot have this be weird here. I wonder if we can get away with this, but at the same time, I don't want to find out. Pretty wonked because of the curve, because of the natural road here, which we didn't have to factor in on the other side. These are all the fun things that you get to do when you're, trying to create. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, so if you're having problems, just replace it. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. This is a perfect. That's going to be wonderful. All right. So, yeah, trade is definitely next on the docket. Not enough goods. All right. We'll let them get to work. I'm going to place 2 people into the logging camp now because it does seem like wood is kind of getting us there. Place 1 person in the saw pit. We'll get that water access up. Perfect. Once that family moves into this burgage plot, we're going to be in good shape. Start making bows. Next thing we want to do is get the manor up. That's going to take some stone. We definitely want to start getting some of that stone. Which is up here. Nice. Alright, he's already claiming land. He's already going. I desperately need to get some individuals up and going if I'm going to survive. Kind of in bad shape here, but we'll get to it. Probably want to place down another hitching post. At some point I'll have some money. Definitely want to get up a trade post. Get that up right here. 100% in the marketplace. Everybody's doing great. We're growing. Got the stone cutter going. Let's just get that going right now, honestly. Start getting that stone coming in. We're going to hold off on building any kind of houses or expanding anything until I get the family to move into the plot that I want for bow. This is one of the bigger kickers in the game. Is it's nice to have 1 spot open. But everybody's doing great. All right, trading post is up. Let's pause the game real quick. So we can start exporting planks for sure. And I think we can export anything over 30. And then firewood. I always go for firewood because you can just produce so much of it. And, you know, every bit counts at this stage of the game. So we have 166. We'll sell everything over 140. Now, ground merchants will come. We don't have to buy a route. Ground merchants will come and buy 5 or so at a time. I only need a few. You know, I only need 15 or I only need 20. Like over here, I only need 15 to build that vegetable garden. Now, this should feed with all the apples up here and all these veggies. This should feed the size of the town that we're going for. You know, winter's coming. All right, we got a lot of stone now. We're going to upgrade the granary. That will reduce spoilage rates too, so that's great. Need one more family to move in. Well, we need one more yeah, we still have open spots. Okay. A little bit more, but we're doing great. We have everything we need in order. Place one individual into the trade post now. Hunting camp is at a pretty good equilibrium right now with just the one person. Like they're getting out there and getting their hands dirty, getting vegetables going. We're going to need to place someone into the forager hut here now. I'm going to pull back on the logging camp. All right, we're over a year worth of food. We're in really good shape, but we just need to keep up food variety at this point. All right, there we are. We got it. Here too. And we'll get the bows going. Our first unit is definitely going to be an archer unit. You can go 2. It's good to split. If we get into a point where we have to kind of kite the enemy, we might be in a situation where I might be in some pretty bad shape. We need to wait for the Lord to attack a bandit camp, get someone out there. We also need to get our manor up. I think that the manor can actually go potentially right here on the side of the road. And we'll build this up in a little bit of time. This is a good spot. I'm going to place it right here and commit. Perfect. Going to take them a bit to build that out, so we'll give them that time. We have multiple families. We have everybody doing their thing. We don't need the individual over here in the forager hut, but I'm going to leave them there anyway because I don't want to micromanage that, and I have a lot of people. Boyer workshop going up now. Get them bows making. We're going to hold off on upgrading everybody to tier 2, even though we probably should. I mean, we could start getting some barley production and things like that, but we're not quite there. I want to wait for a few more families. All right, so now we're at a point where we definitely want to expand living spaces. I'm going to hold off because this is the only... I think this is the only place that no one's lived in, so yeah. So now it's also time to start getting the apple orchard individuals up, so let's get this house going. These plots aren't exactly efficient, but we'll do our best. This is actually good enough for me. This is a lot of apples. So we'll get a couple of these houses going. Just make sure you see that hammer, because that tells you what's going on. These apple orchards don't have to be efficient. They harvest from every other tree, and they do it, honestly, in a really quick pace. You can go the distance on efficiency here if you want, but I haven't noticed that it makes too much of a difference. For the veggies, it makes a huge difference, but for apples, not so much. The big kicker for a lot of this stuff is just granary location next to all this, because you're going to be pulling in hundreds, so you need to move it fast. So, all right, this guy wasn't happy, so I put this little tip over here. Hoping that will help out. This is looking good. We got a good drop-off point here. This is about as best as I can get. This guy's a little weird. All right, but that should look cool with all the apple trees at the end of that. So we're in good shape. We finally got it all done. But we got a lot to do. This build's going to come together pretty nice here. Stay tuned for the next chapter. Welcome to the next chapter. So in chapter 1, we did a whole bunch of stuff. We got the Boyer workshop up, so we want to immediately put that to warbows. I'm going to do a warbow cap of 100. We're actually going to end up trading warbows at some point. And we need to get an army up as fast as possible. If we are lucky, if we are very lucky, we can get out here and steal a bandit camp from the Lord and use that money to hire a mercenary company to survive our first bandit attack. So we got a lot to do, and we're going to hit that beautiful fast forward times 12 button, get this party started. You can see that we have 1 available living space with an additional 4 coming into fruition here soon. And we have a very high approval rating. We're bringing in some money from the little bit of trade we're doing. I'm going to pause the game real quick. Let's get up our next veggie burgage plot. You can see, again, perfect. Just a small loss for where the shed is. So it's really important, like I said, to make sure these parts are perfectly straight. Seems like you can get away with a little bit of crookedness on the corners over here. But the side where the shed is going to be needs to be a little bit better. We have no families doing really anything. So what I'm actually going to do right now is set up my fields. Now, these fields over here are 1 Morgan, and the rest of these are 0.5. So we got to be a little smart about this. So we have 15 at 0.4 to 0.5, and then we have 3 at 1. So what I think I'm going to do is add that all together. So 15 at 0.5 is 7.5, and then you have 3. That puts us at about 10. So what I think I'm going to do is separate these into thirds. So we're going to do these 3 plus this one, and then 7 and 7. Now I want to keep them as close together as possible. That way the farmers can move from field to field in the seasons. So we're going to be a little bit off in one season, but it's all going to carry over. So the first 7 are going to be wheat and barley over here. The middle 7 are going to be wheat and barley in the second and third. And then the 4 over here for 3.5 are going to be barley in the first, wheat in the third. That way, in any given year, we're doing barley and wheat, and we're doing 2/3 of our fields with 1 season for each set so that we can get our fertility back to where it is. This is going to lead to a very good farming setup for us. So I'm going to set that up right now. Okay, now we're set up to do this pretty well. I think it's going to take the full 8 farmhouses to do this. I set a goal of about 1 family per 0.75 Morgans to 1 Morgan. We have around 10. We're going to be doing 6. So 8 should suffice, but we are going to do another farmhouse so that we can get more ox going to make things just a little bit more fluid for us. Let's come down here and let's get up our next farmhouse. Now we can place it any way that we want. I was hoping to get it this direction. Unfortunately, the roads have their own idea. That's cool. We'll just do it like such. And then, you know, we're going to have a windmill right here. Windmill efficiency is pretty good. Sometimes you will have to destroy a road in order to place things. We're going to destroy this angled road right here. The windmill in. Perfect. Now we can reset that road. No big deal. Perfect. Okay. Things are in motion. Now, I want these people to be able to travel to the granary fairly easily. So I'm going to do a cross-section road right here for easier travel. All right, cool. So we got a lot going on, and we have enough room. Let's pause the game real quick. So we have enough room, I think, to place some ovens. So I'm actually going to destroy this straight road once more. And yeah, sometimes you just have to do what you gotta do. So what I would like to do is get 2 ovens in here. So I think what we'll have to do is also destroy this road. Let's just get this all set up so that it's really nice. And we've got a crossroad right here. And I think that crossroad out of all of them makes the most sense. I am going to bring this back up to connect to where the wild berries are being gathered. And now we have a nice section right here. So we have our marketplace sectioned off. Now I can do a few communal ovens. So we will do 2 of them. Cool. We got a lot going on for us, but there's definitely enough space there for all of that stuff. So let's continue to trek along. So this is going to be great. We can start getting barley. We're going to need to start making booze. We're going to need a malt house. So we do have a marketplace here. We do have a tannery right here. We have a lot of industry in this area. So we're going to need a tavern, and we'll need a location for that here in a moment. And I think what we're going to do is try to stay away from the animals and potentially move our logging camps a little bit inward and try to turn some of this into a back alley residential over here for potential chickens and all types of other stuff that we could do. So let's do another road like such. Connect this road here. We got another ox that we should probably get here soon. Let's upgrade these into stables so that we have enough room for everything. This is looking perfect. Logging camp, I think we're okay. 2 timber, no we are not. Let's increase that to 2 individuals. We have 1 free person. We are making a little bit of money. We got the veggies going. We got the future farms going. But we need to keep trekking along, and I want to upgrade people to tier 2. So we got a lot to do here. Now, another thing that we need to do is check out the bandit camps because we really do need to get some money. Sometimes the bandit camps are actually abandoned. You can see in this situation here, it does appear that the bandit camp is abandoned. So we're gonna try 2 strategies here. Now keep in mind, technically speaking, all you have to do is touch the bandit camp. So if you have 2 archers, for instance, thinking you need to have a little bit more than that to summon a group, you could sacrifice one of the archer groups and snag the bandit camp for the money to hire mercenaries. So as long as you have units, you should be able to do what you need to do. So I might have to sacrifice these individuals to the gods for the greater good of everybody. Because once I get that money, I can summon a very powerful mercenary group that can easily take the bandit raid, the first bandit raid that you get. Now we are generating a lot of war bows, so I think we're in pretty good shape. Eventually, I'll be able to start selling them, and that's going to be lucrative. Another thing, I'm going to pause the game real quick. Another thing I want to say is, be careful about buying trade routes. The first trade route you should buy should always be one of the most expensive things that you plan on selling. If I bought, for instance, the firewood trade route, this 50 would go up to 100. So I can buy this one for 50, and then the one for planks, for instance, would go up to 24, and the one for firewood would go up to, I think it's like 2 or 3. Let me check it out for you guys real quick here. Yeah, it's 3, so it would go up to 6. So, you know, doubling from 50 to 100 versus doubling from 3 to 6 or 12 to 24, do the math. You're saving a lot of money. So, I'll always buy the trade route for the first really expensive thing that you want to sell. For us, it's going to be warbows. It's one of the most lucrative trade items in the game. Okay, now we have 2 armies. We're going to come over here. We're going to get this bandit camp. There may or may not be people in there. I could not visibly see. If there are individuals in there, we will sacrifice one of the archer groups while the other snags the point. And then we will run away because we are brave, brave men. It's a brave thing to know when to run. I don't know about that, but we're gonna get some money. That's all that really matters. How we get the money, the things that we have to do to get the money, those are the things we don't talk about. So we got some burgage plots being built over here. We have no available spots, and it is February 4th, so I think we missed a family. That's my bad. So let's start prioritizing some of these areas over here so that we have enough room. I gotta maintain proper strategy here. All right, so here's the bandit camp. Let's move in. All right. So far, I'm not seeing bandits in the camp. Sometimes the Lord will kill the bandits in a camp. So that's just something to think about. Like if you're worried, like, oh, I only have 4 units. So we're putting this to the treasury. This will 109. That will allow us to hire a mercenary group. Let's take a gander and see if we can find anything else while we're out and about. Does not appear there are too many bandit camps. So that's cool. We're going to go home. I'm going to bring everybody home, and we're going to continue trekking along. So everything is going really well right now, so let's just fast forward here a little bit. Alright, another bandit camp and another lord have been sighted right here. So what I am going to do is steal that and bring the money into the town. I'm going to get rid of one of our archer squads so that those individuals can get back to work. And I'm just going to wait for the Lord to come over here and screw up. This is going to be a great day for all of us. We are at 77% approval, which means we're getting 2 families per month. You get 1 family on the 1st, 2nd of the month, and then you get the 2nd family on the 15th, 16th of the month if you're over 75%. So we're going to get 2 families per month. Things are really going to start ramping up, which makes it even more important to, 1, have the space for individuals to come in, families. I say everything is individual. It's just a force of habit. I do know that they're families. I've been playing this game long enough. And I also kind of feel like I sound like the cop from Idiocracy who says, this particular individual, I don't know. It's stayed with me for a long time. And, you know, I think given, like, current events, it's pretty fitting for me to speak that way, too. So here we are. We're above 5 burgage plots, so we're going to need an additional market, and we're going to need an additional general vendor for all this stuff over here. We've gone over where you need to be with this stuff, so let's continue. Actually, no. For the food, we're okay. It's the tier 2 buildings that need 3, so we'll remedy that here momentarily. But we're doing really great. I don't believe we have too many things going on. I did leave a person in the forager. I have a set it and forget it approach that I like to take into my gameplay, to be quite honest. I find it rather annoying to try to micromanage too much, but it can be necessary. At the current pace, though, I think we're going to be in good shape. We have really good veggie burgage plots with the flexo design being used. Someone said it looks like a baseball diamond, and I do agree with them, but it still is the flexo. So we have 365 days until we're going to get hit by a big old band of bandits. There is even the possibility that the Lord will intercept those bandits and I won't have to fight them. But you can never rely on that, because if the raiders do come and I am not prepared for them, they will beat the ever-living crap out of me, and it will not be pretty. It will not be pretty. So another thing that I would like to do is get up the brewery maker as soon as possible. So we have one oven here. We have a lot of good stuff. The granary is right here. So what I'm thinking, in all seriousness, I would love to have a single burgage plot for the brewer in this area. It's going to mess with the communal oven. But to be fair, it's going to be cool. So I'm going to do it. We can put an oven right over here. I would like to have the brewery next to the granary here for the malt and all that stuff. We're also going to need... let's pause the game real quick because I am trying to do a lot at once. We're also going to need a malt house, and we can place that malt house right here. So, unfortunately, it's saying I do not have enough boards. I believe I took the family. I'm using proper terms now. No, it's there. Everybody's there. We're going through a lot of boards because we are making a lot of bows, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So let's wait for these warriors, individuals, to intercept the bandit camp. So this one does actually have people at it. Holy cow, that is a lot of people. They're I think these two are lovers. I don't know what's going on between them. I don't want to know. I'm just gonna zoom out now. All right, let's speed this up. So they're running to intercept. This is when you run in like Yogi the Bear and you steal that picnic basket. All right, let's get this. Running in to steal. This money we're gonna send to the town so that we can buy our apples, because it's gonna take 3 to 4 years for those apples to come in to full production. So we're gonna send resources to the nearest town. It's a glorious day for us. Now, oh shit. They're coming for me now. I will say though, if you can kill the bandits you want to, because you gain influence. So the reason that the Lord can expand so quickly is because he's killing the bandits. So if you're able to kill the bandits before the Lord, it greatly slows down his ability to expand and thus go to war with you. But I think what I'm going to have to do is actually lead these banditos into a trap. Now, I think if I get the first hit, I may actually get the influence. So let's try something here. Let's try shooting these banditos just a little bit, just to get them salty, and then running away really, really fast. Okay, yeah, they're gaining on us pretty quick. Let's speed this up. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, you guys need to run. Okay, this isn't gonna go well for us. They're very angry. They're very quick. We might have to lose somebody, but in the grand scheme of things, I feel like we're doing the Lord's work. All right, we're gonna run. Oh shit! They broke my units. They broke them. We lost one. That's not bad. So we'll check up here to see if we get influence from these after they die. I may have you may have to kill one of them to get the influence. It's a little ambiguous. I'll have to look into that one for us. All right, well, let's keep this awesomeness on track. So we need a lot more people. We have 2. All right. We're gonna rename our village. And one of my favorite actors, Val Kilmer, may he rest in peace. We're gonna name this Willow. But very sad news. He was honestly a very good actor. I guess we shouldn't judge him based on that. He seems like he was a good person too. It's always tragic when somebody passes. So let's get these people into the town and let's get going. All right, cool. So we did not gain the influence. So I may not have hit anybody well enough, but I've been told if you get the first punch in, you typically get the influence. So let's disband this unit now that it's back at town. Got the granary going. We got the oven going up. We have 3 available living spaces. So what I need to do now is start getting these things up. It's April 1st. There was our new family. So now we can start upgrading all of these bad boys. And these aren't optimal, but I'm trying to be cool. So we're going to go that direction there. We have some extra space here if I decide to go a different direction, though I do like everything that I'm doing here. Probably going to place a granary in the center there. Go to the stonecutters camp. They're doing an okay job. We have 16 stone left. Let's see how much stone we have. 155 stone. We are doing absolutely very, very awesome. So the storehouse, pit, everything is good. Trade post, got 1 family. Let's get a few other things in motion here. So I'm going to pause the game real quick. We're going to get ourselves up a couple hitching posts in the back area here. By a couple, I mean a lot. And these guys are still under construction, so There's a little bit of slow pokery going around. Mainly because, though, I did have a lot of individuals out there fighting. So the men are drafted and they're not working. One of the bad things about having a standing army. Our berries are doing fantastic. We're going to boot this production up, and I'll go over some berry production tips here in a bit. If you haven't already seen my videos, I've kind of beaten that subject to death, but sometimes, you know, people, it's their first time watching me, so I do like to kind of repeat good advice. And the hunting camp is doing the best it can. I'm actually kind of surprised at how well it's doing. The direction that we're going to go is we're definitely going to go into heavy plows. I haven't decided if I'm going to go into bakeries. They are amazing, and you make double the bread. I don't know if we're going to need to do that because we have a lot of bread coming in. And this is going to be a smart build. It's going to, you know, not going to be crazy. I'm not going to go to 15,000 people. We're going to try to make as much money off as small of a population as I can. Probably go 200-300 on this build. That'll be good enough. But yeah, the idea is just trying to have fun. I'm just having fun with this build and just trying things from a different viewpoint, trying to make things aesthetically pleasing. I really like the setup here. I think it looks great. And I'm trying to figure out what I want to do over here. But we got a lot of good things going on for us. So we do kind of want to start thinking about the future. I would like to keep the burgage plot making alcohol, the granary, and the... Ooh, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff around here. We're going to sell alcohol, too, so keeping that close to the trade post could be advantageous for us. Potentially putting a few things... Yeah, the storehouse is right next to the trading post. That's always kind of how you want to have it. We have a lot of good stuff going on. And the malt house is going to be the next big thing for us. So, we should have had a malt house around these parts. I'm going to place the malt house right here. That is a good spot. We might need 2 malt houses if we really ramp up ale production. I'm going to have a sideways road going here. I'm going to go with the natural curvature that I have designated. And we're going to have a road like such. And then we can kind of put houses in the middle here. So you can use spacing. The best way to know if a double burgage plot is going to work out, honestly, is using corpse pits, because a corpse pit is exactly 2 double burgage plots with a backyard extension. So if you want to know what your spacings are, and if you're going to be able to get everything you want, pause. Yeah, we're still paused. Let's actually remove this road. So what I want to do is make sure that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Some of this stuff is not going to be fantastic. But if I can get this and then a curvature, it's going to be great. So we're going to have a little bit of die-off over here. What I would like is to try to not make this look square, right? I mean, as square as I can. So I think what we'll do this. We'll have a little bit of a die-off area right there that we can use to place. Probably the tavern would be a good spot there. And then we have all this back area for additional burgage plots. And that's going to look pretty cool. So let's do that. Let's do that. That's a good idea. We got the tavern right here. Perfect. And then we can have all of our housing as such. And I think what we'll do is put a road like such. And this is all going to snap together pretty well. So we have an additional 2. Let's start thinking about this. Let's use this as a basis and a foundation. So I want to start lining stuff up. Perfect, perfect. So the road right here is going to be a little weird. Let's see if I can do this. I just want to make sure that we're getting everything the way that we need to get it. Sometimes your road snap points aren't too grand. Yeah. So the road, where the road is where I need to take things. So I think what we should do here, is just give ourselves a little bit of breathing room so that we don't have to overthink this. So yeah, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this just a tad bit bigger. Make it a little weird, but nothing cosmic. There we go. All right. So now we don't have to worry too much. That gives us just a little bit of breathing room. Right about. Sometimes you are going to have to turn the road tool off to get what you want. And yeah, it's not always going to go the way that you want it. So do this. There we go. See that? With the backyard extensions. Leaves enough room over there. Perfect. Now what I would like to do is have this road kind of follow. And, you know, if we have some dead loss, like housing, that's okay. Like I said, it just needs to be well enough. Now we can turn the snap to road tool on because we have a guide. Perfect. Look at that. Okay. So these are all going to be double. We'll probably put some chickens in them. Boom. And now that we gave ourselves that little bit of breath room, we potentially actually could have a connecting road right here. And then have houses. We're not going to build these guys yet. Perfect. Look at that. All right. So that gives us all that. And then we can actually have houses facing a different direction down here now, so that they can get backyard extensions. And so this gives us a really cool area. We got the tavern. We got the church. We got the market. Everybody's slightly happy. Let's look at well placements. It looks like I could place a well right here, and I think that's what we'll do. That way people over here have an easy access to water, even though I think I have a well pretty close. It's never hurts to have a couple. All right, we have 5 free families. We're getting really close to the point where we can do a lot of cool stuff. So we do need to start pushing people into Tier 2. And I'm going to stay away from doing the boiler workshop for now. The first things I want to get to Tier 2 are definitely going to be these burgage plots. But in order to do all this, I'm going to need to put one more person in the granary. I'm going to need to put one more person into the large storehouse. And this will allow me to get back up into those 100s. We also need a third food type. I think vegetables are going to start coming in pretty strong. So let's speed all of this up. We have a lot of free living spaces. People are doing great. Let's see what we got. So we want to get the apples going up here. We do have a lot of money. Hopefully this will be enough apples for everybody. We can always change our mind and build a little bit more if we need to. All right, let's get these apples up. There we go. This should be quite enough. Should be quite enough. We're only going to have so many plots. We just need to be big enough to have a basic army. And I think things are going to go really well for us. Now we're going to leave the 4 unassigned families to help build everything. There's quite a lot to do. We are at a point now where we can upgrade. We're going to shoot to upgrade all of the furthest plot points because these tend to be the hardest. We're going to need a lot of boards, so this is going to present difficulties. I also want to make sure that we're ordering more ox and getting things going. But we have a lot of great things going for us right now. Now the location of these burgage plots isn't completely ideal. We've got the boiler workshop there. We definitely need to get this up to Tier 2 so that we can get a brewery maker going. I'm not going to extend the living space at all in this, so it's just there if I change my mind. I actually like to somewhat build double burgage plots for my artisans in case I change my mind. So here's the problem. People have found out that you usually get more production from having 2 single burgage plots dedicated to a craft. And if you have 2 families, which becomes 4 families at Tier 3, they're all locked into whatever production is here, and it really sucks. The advantage of having a double burgage plot is it doesn't require any additional market space because you need 1 food available per marketplace, right? So, or per burgage plot, I should say. So if you need more soldiers, it's nice to be able to do this. You might get a slight up, for the brewery especially, because we're going to be mass producing alcohol, we're going to get a slight increase. It's not going to, you know, say you're getting 100%, you're not going to get another... Like, you're not going to get multiple production values. You might get like 100, you might get 50% production off those other families. It's pretty weird right now. I'm expecting this to change in the future, but that's just currently the way that it works. So you don't really get a good return, and it's usually better to do single burgage plots for your production buildings for that reason. Also, in previous patches, there were glitches when you had 2 families in a burgage plot doing production where it would screw up. So there's some issues all around this, and just to let you know. But like I said, what's really useful about it is that you're getting that extra person for your army, and you're also getting the way that the tax system works. People are actually a detriment in a lot of ways, but it's not a big deal. You don't even need a full army. That's the kind of funny thing. Our manor is now up, so we can do a lot of things here. We have 270 days until we're going to get raided. We're actually doing incredibly well given everything that's going on right now. So we're just going to keep trekking along. Got our 2nd settlement level, so I definitely want to go immediately into heavy plows. That's a beautiful thing right there. Let's also start thinking about getting some hitching posts a little bit closer to the area that we're going to be doing a lot of this stuff in. So snap to road tool is on. This area is pretty decent. I'm thinking actually putting some hitching posts in this area could be advantageous, but honestly, I'd prefer to keep them close. Now, we are going to do another bread maker around these parts. So I think right here and here, yeah, more hitching posts. I have someone once said that my videos aren't a Manor Lord video. They're a video about someone with a crippling ox addiction, and I couldn't agree more. I definitely have issues, and I love my ox. Not in that way, though. Not in that way. This isn't that kind of video. It's platonic. It's a platonic love. I love the work they do and the money they make me. All right, we're in good shape. Everything's going hunky-dory. Hunting camp's doing well. We can start putting more people into the berry maker here, but we got 124 berries. We got 5 veggies. We got 37 meat. Meat spoils pretty quickly, so that is kind of an issue, but we'll get over it. A lot of apples are coming up. The families here are going to be pretty productive. I'm pretty sure you can use these farmers. You can use these families over here to farm. We kind of want to put industries closer to these individuals so that they are in good efficiency. But we got 7 free families. Pretty much everything is built up. Let's go down the line. Yeah, everything is great. Now, I want to continue upgrading everything I possibly can to tier 2 up here. Right now, we're having a little bit of a logging issue. Probably would advise, yes. We are going to officially move this gent over to the backside. And that will open up a huge area for more things. Now, I like to keep my saw pit next to the large storehouse because it's easier to cart a log than it is the boards, in my opinion. It's just faster. You don't have to do what I do. Everybody has their own kind of opinion on this, so go ham. Go do what you'd like to do, and you will be fine. But that's just how I like to do it, so I do it that way. Alright, perfect. Yeah, you can see we're gonna get a lot of veggies off of these fields. We're gonna get more apples than I think we need. And we're gonna get more bread than I think we need. We're gonna be swimming in food. It's gonna be, honestly, slightly ridiculous. So let's pause the game real quick and let's take a peek. Over here, let's get ourselves another forester up. So if you haven't seen my guides, the berries proc on a regular deposit 11 times in 3 months. So if you have enough families, you can quickly get all the berries, and it comes out to be about 400. But you have to have enough to harvest every single one of them. Otherwise, you don't get the full proc. So it's a little bit of... It's not too hard to do, but you can't half-ass it. It has to be done, like I said. And you'll need about 4 families to do that. 3 to 4. And I like to do multiple forager huts. People have asked me, why do I place a multiple forager hut? Why do I place multiple hunting camps? Pantry. When you're doing this, the pantry gets full, and they no longer gather berries. So it's better to have 3 pantries with 1 family each than 1 forager hut with 3 each, because what's going to happen is the pantry's going to get full. They're going to stop collecting, and you got to wait in the granary worker. So what this does is it buys you logistical time for the granary worker to come over and move those goods, and you would have to have a lot more families to do this otherwise. So that's the advantage of having multiple forager huts. That's the advantage of having multiple hunting camps, is you have more pantry size to account for that. Now, we don't have to worry about that with this rich deposit unless we go the trapping and advanced skinning route, and in which case things get a little hairy. Then if you go into policies and you enable the hunting grounds, which gives you wild animals breeding twice as fast, it's insane how much meat you can get, and then you need multiple camps for that reason. However, it reduces your crop yields by 50%, so we're not even going to go that route. I think for us, what we're going to do is take a gander and probably go into maybe charcoal. Charcoal's a good trade item. It's one of the better trade items in the game. Probably go into beekeeping and get honey for another food supply. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And I guess we will go into trapping and advanced skinning. Don't really see a need for better deals. Usually I go into better deals if I'm importing a lot of alcohol. However, that is not the case here. We have a lot of individuals now, so it's pretty much time to start ramping things up. So we don't need anybody in the malt house quite yet. We don't need anybody in the communal oven or the windmill quite yet. But we do need to start getting the ox plowing stations up. Right now, I'm trying to just get a good amount of ox. We also want to come over to our farms and take a gander. So we only have 4 ox, so that's a problem because I'm going to permanently assign those ox to that farmhouse. So what I need to do is just really get that stuff going. So we're going to speed this up. We're in good shape. We want to keep families coming in. We want to keep getting soldiers. This is beautiful. Eventually, I'm going to start setting a tax rate. I would tax. I want to get us back above 75%. The lack of entertainment is kind of pissing people off. Okay, it's time. Now, again, I use a set it and forget it strategy. A lot of people don't like it, but I love it. I love not having to think about these things too much. Once we get multiple families in here, we'll be good. The real kicker holding us back, like I said, is the logging camp. So let's put 2 individuals in here. We're not building anything quite yet. We're above 75% now. It is the 27th of July. What cool. We're getting close. Winter is coming. We have 5 months of fuel, which is not enough fuel. So let's pause the game real quick. I believe we're going to need to move the woodcutter's lodge over here. We are going to need to pull 1 individual out of the logging camp, 1 family, and get that built back up. Yeah, it's just too terrible over there. But we got good roads. All of our creatures can move around very well. I think what we're going to do is place a road here so that anyone coming from this direction can quickly get a log to the saw pit. Things are awesome. We got this whole area right here for building anything that we need. All right, logging camp, woodcutter is almost up. We're going to place our individual back into there. Yeah, because we're using a work size area on a lot of this stuff, we need to make sure that they have enough space to do everything that they need to do. Let's also redo this work size area to make sure that we're still cutting down logs. Perfect. We're in good shape. Everything is looking awesome. Let's just continue to order ox. Perfect. I am going to get 1 ox plow up here. I'm kind of scared about doing too many because I don't have enough ox for everybody. But these fields are looking wonderful as far as production goes. I think that's going to bring in more food than I know what to do with. We got berries, we got meat, but soon we'll catch up on the veggies, and it's going to be a good place for all of us. All right, beautiful. Farmhouse is constructed. Perfect. So, yeah, I'm going to permanently assign 2. I feel comfortable doing that. We don't need to put any families in here yet because they don't have oxes, so we're just going to put them all into here. That's pretty awesome. So now we're going to get out there. The ox is really going to help. Another bandit camp is sighted. Probably would be to my advantage to go kick the crap out of it. Let's see where it is. It's all the way north. Okay. So we're going to send... What's awesome is I don't need to send my workers now. I can send my retinue. Another advantage of getting your manor up as fast as possible. Let's send this guy up to the northeast. And let's check this out. Now, hopefully... Yeah, they're over here. It's there. They're a little bit closer than me, but they're probably going to crab walk it all the way there. So I think we can beat them if we run. We're going to double click. We're going to get in range. And let's do this. No, don't get too close. All right. They've engaged. I got to get up there as fast as possible to get this camp, because they are going to just eviscerate that unit. So I need to run. I don't expect this unit to last too long. As long as I'm closer, that's all that matters. All right. We did it. I'm going to send this... I'm going to send this to the treasury, to be honest, because I have, in my opinion, more than enough regional wealth, and I'm selling a lot of stuff. All right, we're going to come back to town, and we're going to get this show on the road. I probably want to buy more retinue here, too. The cool thing is once we're attacked by the banditos in 173 days, we'll know a lot more. Now, I probably want to start getting up a few other things. I actually think that this area right here is kind of perfect. So what we're going to do is look at how many... We want to keep under 20 burgage plots so that we can minimize the amount of workers that we need. I eventually am going to go a little bit beyond that, but that's okay. As long as I keep my increments in 5, it should align with the market stalls pretty well. So what I want to do is, yeah, have 2 more, because I want to start making shields and shieldmen, and we can start selling. You can sell a lot of weapons. You can make a lot of money. This thing is being a little funky right now. You see what I'm working with here. So we're going to put a road to offset the funkiness. We don't like funky. This is not a funky town. All right. This is perfect right here. That's 2 artisans. So that's 2. That places us at 16 plus 2. So we got 2 more that we can place down. I may or may not increase some production. We got the ox going. That's a beautiful thing right there. Eventually, I'll get some more of those. And yeah, we're just going to continue to buy ox. This is great. So the small tavern. I always find it's best to upgrade this to the large tavern. So we got that going. We're going to start getting a lot of booze production. But things are looking up for us. They're looking really up for us. So thank you guys for tuning in. Please stay tuned for the next chapter. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Chapter 3. Today we're going to be raising an army, getting out all of the additional industry that we need, upgrading everyone to Tier 2, getting the barley and wheat production going so that we can create both ale and bread, and just generally wrapping up everything so that we can continue to expand. So let's get this party started. We currently have a few free families. We had just gotten the farmhouse going. I'm going to let them do what they need to do. We have 2 ox signed right here. We need to continue to purchase ox because we only have currently 6 and 2 of them are being used on the farm. The large tavern will be up soon. We have a malt house right here, an oven right there. This needs to be upgraded immediately to tier 2 so that it can be converted to a brewery. The hunting camp seems to be doing quite well. We have a boyer workshop, not bad. Everything is coming along really nice. You can see that once we get multiple families in here, they will get the majority of the farm plot filled out. Things will be hunky-dory once more. We have this nice little blank spot right here. I believe this will be enough apples for what we're trying to achieve. And just generally, this is a nice little cozy build. It's pretty small. This is actually really cool over here. Got a little fish pond up here. That'd be a nice little town area right there. You even got rich deposit for wild animals. And you got the clay deposit up there. That'd be a good trade. Make clay tiles. They'll sell for a fortune. Now, we're going to start unlocking a lot of stuff. I think we'll probably go into trapping and advanced skinning first. Coal we're going to do just for trade. It's actually kind of completely unnecessary. There's a lot that we could do to make this build a little bit more efficient. But once you understand some of the core basics in this game, it's actually relatively easy to do quite a bit. So, gotta wait 19 days to get another ox, but we can upgrade these to small stables. That's a good way to pass the time right there. Get this show on the road. Alright, new family, not bad. Tavern coming up. Now the first crops usually suck. You can kind of see that because they started late in the year. We're getting really bad yields on these things, but give it 1 year and those things typically catch up. You see we didn't even get these things plowed in time, but the ox are at work. That's really great. We're going to get an ox plowing station here as well. And we just really want to get... That's one of the advantages of having multiple farms is there's only 2 ox per farmhouse. So sometimes you having 2 of them, well, it'll give you 4 ox carts. Kind of actually want a third one because I'd like to get 6 ox going for how many plots we have to do per year. That'd be pretty advantageous. So for our next skill point, this is actually kind of a... Yeah, if we go into trapping, it will take us 1 more point to get to that area over there. You know, I don't really think we need bakeries or rye. I think our bread production is going to be through the roof, to be quite honest. So producing more of something that's just going to rot in the granary, not entirely sure. I think we may want to go into beekeeping before some of these other things, but honey for me is typically something I do in the late game. So we're going to go trapping and advanced skinning, honey, and probably charcoal for an early game or late mid-game trade item. And let's go back and check out the trade post. So I know that at one point we wanted to start selling bows. I think we're at a point where we can do that. We have 26 out of 36. We have a nice little army going on here. We're at 70% and we have 7 open living spaces. So the question to me would be, do I want to start taxing people? I'd prefer to have 2 families per month, but we need a 75% for that. But I think that we're going to start taxing everybody -1. I like to go 1 at a time, you can see. So, -2 for 4, yeah. If I go to 5, it's -3, so I might as well go to 6, right? So we're going to go to a 6% land tax for a -3. One thing I've noticed on the harder difficulties is even though it says -3, it averages them out, and that tax negative can actually be way in excess of -3. So, that's something I actually have to kind of look into because it's not lining, like you would think, okay, I'm just going to lose 3% approval, but that -3 to predicted, see it says predicted approval loss. It's not very accurate to what you actually experience. For instance, if I went to, right now I'm at 71%, right? So I should be able to say, okay, well I want to tax them 40%, -22. So, okay, well let's do 35, right? 19. So you would figure, right, I'd be at 52% on that. Nope. Nope, you can go down to the 30s. So you got to be really careful with that stuff. So we're just going to do a 6% tax and see how that impacts the bottom line. But we do need to build up the treasury. We need to prepare for the bandit attack, which is coming in 134 turns. And we need to prepare for the Lord. Once he takes this last region, he's going to be looking at me and licking his lips. Mainly because he wants my village, not because, he's romantically attracted to me. At least I don't think so. And hope. I hope not. So we're also going to need an additional burgage plot for boots. So we need to figure out how we're going to do that. I think we're going to want single burgage plots. And I'm also wanting a joiner's workshop and some other things. I think right here what we're going to do is do a bunch of single burgage plots. So we need to make sure that they all have backyard extensions. Don't have enough goods. Okay. Another thing you can do is you can do them double and just not upgrade them, with the idea that maybe in the future if you want to. I've gone over this before. So there's nothing wrong with doing a double as long as you don't upgrade it. So just, you know, food for thought. And we prefer to get these things closer to industry. So potentially I might even want to put 1 or 2 right here. This is a little weird over here, isn't it? Okay. Well, let's think about this. It's important to get... I typically like to get my industries up first. But here we have 2 that we can use that are single burgage plots. That's right. So one of these is going to need to be boots, and another one is going to have to be a joiner's workshop, potentially. And then we'll also need a blacksmith if we want to make spears. You can pretty much get away with just doing crossbowmen. So instead of a joiner's workshop, potentially what we should do is actually just do a blacksmith so that we can make the gears in order to make crossbowmen. Crossbowmen are stupid. They're stupid powerful. Alright, we're going to take 4 out of here, and we're going to place 4 in here. We're going to assign 2 livestock. I know this hurts us in some ways. We only have 3 ox dedicated to other crafts. And we'll need to, of course, continue to purchase ox. But the most important thing right now is getting this going. You can see that the ox are going to take some time. This guy is lollygagging. And, you know, the people are helping out. I may need to throw some more families into the mix to make sure we get everything up in time. But there we go. Look at that. Yields of 40, yields of 40. Not bad. This is actually pretty good. But we have a lot of plots to cover. I probably am going to need a few additional families. Currently, right now, I just want to get people into their homes. So we're not going to build anything else until we get everybody in a house. That way I can get the industry going. Need to get those boots. Need to get a blacksmith. And with that in mind, we do need to kind of revisit some of the things that we're thinking about doing. For instance, I'm going to need some more industry buildings, particularly the bloomery. And we don't need a smithy. We just need the bloomery. Yep, we're good. That's pretty great. Malt house, we got it all. Perfect. So once I start getting malt coming in, we have 82 leather. We can start selling leather. We can start making alcohol and getting people booze, and that's going to help us tax more. You can see right now we're getting a taxation of -3 this month, but it does this weird compounding thing that I've noticed if you go past a certain point. So we're just going to ease on into the taxes and see how that works. I would expect this to change dramatically with future patches. I think there are still a few bugs left over, but that's okay. So this is a burgage plot level 2. It's going straight to brewery. Perfect. I'm glad they at least patched that stuff, because breweries were very, very broken at one point. And so they're working lovely now. And that's always good. And we have a total of 17 with 1 under construction. That gives us 2 plots to 20. We're probably going to go to 25 burgage plots in this design. And that's going to put us in a good place, a really good place. It will reduce the amount of market workers we need, because you need, you know, you can only hold 20 and per burgage plot. So if I have weird number burgage plots, I'm going to need more markets, and then you create an inefficiency in how many workers you need for everything. But we're going to be in great shape. Right now we're just lacking the shoes. We'll probably need to put another worker into the storehouse in order to fulfill all the burgage requirements here. So we got 2 actually, so we're good. I just need to make boots. So we'll get them boots. Get them boots going here soon. Nice, new family. So yeah, scouring to make sure I can start upgrading. Now I did upgrade these plots up here, and we want to continue to upgrade the furthest point plots first, and especially the plots related to veggie and apples, to increase the pantry, which just generally helps in all things. Eventually I will get a granary right here, but we're not quite there yet. We have 148 stone, so I don't believe I'm going to need any more than that. We have large tavern finally up. Let's come over to our logging camp. We just have 1 individual in there. Let's boot this up to 3. I feel like we're kind of falling behind. Let's also look at potentially getting a forester up. Now, yes, we need to make sure that we have plenty of trees. Let's burn Map to road tool is on, but it's not really interacting very well. Alright, turn that back on. Got a nice little road right here from the logging camp. Just want to make sure the logistics of everything is fairly sound. I think we're in good shape. And yep, creating lots of bows. Eventually we'll start selling them. And eventually I'll start making crossbows as well. Right now we're a little poor. I'm thinking we're going to start saving up to get the trade route going. Because yeah, the trade post is right here. That's going to lead to the best scenario for us. And we're running out of, planks. So yeah, because we haven't even bought a trade route yet. So the first one I want to get is going to be right there. One individual selling 50 firewood. Beautiful thing. Now, I could start selling some of the food sources. We have very little meat. Veggies are going to start pouring in. We're going to have a problem here because I think we're going to have difficulty hitting our 3 food types until everything kind of catches up with my deep, big plans. But we're going to get there. I know it. Got enough firewood. We got 3 months worth of food. Yeah, once some of these things start coming in and we can start really pushing it. All right, let's get one more ox. And then after that, I'm going to save up. And we're going to buy that warbow trade route and start selling warbows. And that's going to lead to some very good gains for us. All right, let's get this to tier 2. And we're going to start getting passive income. But I need to get the alcohol going because we're going to start getting a lack of entertainment negative that is quite severe. So that's not going to be good. We also need to upgrade the church. So we're going to need to get clay tiles. So let's go into the industry tab. Check out our mining pit. Find the clay, which is over here. Slap that down. And also get up a temporary clay furnace. And we should actually have more than enough clay for everything that we're doing over here. I'm going to put the clay furnace over here. It's a little far, it's a little bit of a distance to the large storehouse, but they'll be fine. And the bloomery will eventually start ordering raw iron. It's one of the best ways to get those slabs and get a bunch of things going. I think we're going to be in beautiful shape. So we have a little bit of industry mixed in all of this in our housing area, and it's looking wonderful. So we got the logs coming in now. We got lots of firewood. Got an enormous amount of leather. If we do get the perk, I think we might want to start selling boots. So that would be cool. Boyer workshop. So once a family moves into here and I can get these to tier 2, we're going to be in a golden shape. I could start pumping out these guys to tier 2 while we're waiting. Not necessarily a bad idea because it increases our passive income, but I think once I get the trade going pretty soon here, we're going to be in tip-top shape. And we won't need to. I want to casually go into all of this stuff. I don't want to go too hard or it gets weird. And that's, yeah, I don't like that sentence I just said, but I'm keeping it in the video, so. Out of context, that is a bad sentence, but I guess it applies in all scenarios, too. Alright, so once we get this trade route up, we'll be in good shape. We're at 48 regional wealth. Need one or a couple people to buy some firewood, or just one of our taxes to come in from these burgage plots. We're going to be right there. Now, we are running dangerous. The food is a dangerous situation. Alright, so at one point, let's see. We need to come and revisit this. So I had explained why you want to have multiple foragers is because the pantry is only 50 on these bad boys. The size of 50. So having multiple means that the granary workers can come at a later point, and you can harvest all the berries in that short period. And we can get about 400 if we can hit it when they're going crazy. So for the time being, I'm going to boot this up to 2 families. And we're going to put another person in there. We're going to have a total of 3 families for the time being, and with a future goal of 4 and 3 forager huts, and that's going to yield maximum, which is about 440 berries per year. I have guides on this. I'm not going to go into this detail. I've beaten that horse to death on how all that works. So check out my channel. Check out, specifically search food guides and watch my food guides if you want to know all the detail. Because I have very concise, well-edited 20-minute guides that go over every single food mechanic in the game and have chapters. So if you want to go to the part with berries, you can go to the part with berries. All that information is available. So we're just going to trek along. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're doing great. This is wonderful. It looks like the banditos are coming in 6 turns. I'm not going to hire mercenaries. I'm going to take them myself. Because we have 2 archers and we have enough to stop the banditos. I feel confident that I can kill 3 banditos. So we're good. We'll fight them in a place where I can control everything. We might be able to meet them at a bridge. If we can meet them at a bridge, they're really shit out of luck. I'm hoping they come from the south. So I think it's probably wise that we rally our men so that we can best intercept the area they're coming from. Doesn't look like I'll have any bridges if they come from the sides here. But if they come from this angle, there are only a few places that they can go. Alright, so they're coming from over here. So they're either going to come up this way, or, oof. See, this is actually a problem. So what you want to do in this situation, let me pause the game, is if you can, see this area over here is mine. So if I can build a bridge, see I need 50 boards unfortunately. If I could have built that bridge, they would have pathed right there. It does actually look like the Lord is going to intercept the bandits for me. And this happens, like as I said, we're running out of food. So yeah, they're going to intercept. We're running out of food, but we're going to be okay. It's growing season. It took a little bit longer for the families to move into these burgage plots. That's why we're having issues with food. But all of that's going to be remedied. We're about to get a big old influx of grain. Everything's going to be hunky-dory. 243 barley, 321 wheat, and that 321 is going to make 600 bread, which is far in excess of what we need. All right. So it's only 2 banditos. Very nice. I don't think I'm going to have to fight them, so I'm going to just put everybody back to work. Perfect. We're all happy here. So yeah, we got lucky. And that tends to happen. I guess we should just make sure that these... Yep. And now the Lord is going for the last territory, so I need to prepare myself for that. Now there is a possibility that I can just wall this area off, and in that situation I could defend myself quite well. So I'm a little scared, I'm not going to lie. But we're going to get there. We need to keep the families coming in. We got 3 available living spaces. So we're in good shape, but we're just going to keep trekking along and making sure that, yeah, the food's coming in. We're getting the berry procs now. We're in good shape. Vegetables are starting to come in too. Meat, not so much. Not so much. So we need a level 3 burgage plot, and we're going to need clay for that. So we got the clay mine up over here. I love using tab to find buildings, especially like when they're really hidden in there. We're going to put 2 people in the clay because this is actually pretty critical that we get the church up to tier 2 for these tier 2 homes. We're going to get the clay furnace going. Feel pretty good about all of this. We have 3 available living spaces, and none of them have moved into the 2 new houses down there, so that's fine. We're going to keep trekking along, looking up here. Things are looking pretty good for us right now. Yeah, things are coming along nice. The village is looking pretty sharp, to be honest. We've got the 133. I got a little sidetracked because of the war. Go to trade. Let's buy that warbow trade route. Alright, so we have 100. And that's great. We're going to export. My desired surplus, honestly, is 50. With our cap of 100. The money's going to start flowing in. It's going to be pretty intense. And that's going to be great because we get some taxes coming and got our retinue up. Things are great. Things are great. We can always hire mercenaries too to help us with the Lord. Never a bad idea. But I think we're about to do a nice little harvest. They're getting the veggies now. So we're going to have a good amount of food coming in between the berries and the veggies. We're keeping above 50%. We're getting a little bit of taxes. Not entirely an ideal situation to be quite honest. But things are going our way. Oh, advanced tab. Alright, we're going to create just basically unlimited ale. Might actually even start trading alcohol. So we just need to watch, see for when these things come in. Right now, they're just getting ready to harvest. Yeah, in a little bit. Let's see, what season is it? April? Frequent raining, crops grow, possible drought. Oh no, we're way. It's September. My bad. Yeah, it's going to be a bit before we get that, but that's okay. We have a lot of food supplies coming in, and I feel really confident that once we get this church up, that's also going to be of huge help. So yeah, things are looking up for us. Alright, level 2 here. Very nice. We could start getting some... Probably want to shoot for the boots. Want to make sure that approval is really well. Alright, the money is coming in very nice now. So we can continue to buy ox and all the things that we need. Fields are going to be plowed here momentarily. Things are looking really good for us. think we're going to start just preemptively upgrading everybody to tier 2. Start making money, more money. Getting those taxes up so we can get our army up better. Perfect. Keep upgrading all of these houses. Wonderful. This is looking beautiful. And yeah, we need the second family to move in over here. We're going to need 4 families for something like this to be optimal, to be quite honest. And we're going to get another family in. So we got 3 families in the foragers. That's going to get us a lot of berries. So that's going to help us out tremendously. The bread production should be coming up here pretty soon. But we got a lot going on. Now, this is level 2 now. So I'm going to need a tool. Unfortunately, I think the banditos stole all my tools. Even getting everything off the ground. So we will have to build a blacksmith or smithy. I'm just going to build a smithy because I don't have the blacksmith up quite yet. And what we're going to do, which is kind of cool because we don't have to buy a trade route. We're going to go to crafting materials, right? We're just going to import a little bit of iron. I really only want to have 20. And what's kind of neat about this is we can set a cap on how many of the slabs we want to make, so we don't have to worry about them overdoing anything. But we'll be in good shape. So, yeah. We're just going to buy the straight raw iron ore and make it all ourselves. It's going to be great. I believe we can upgrade the church now. Perfect. Perfect. We need to work on getting our 4th food type. It looks like we're going to need to put 1 more individual into the granary now. That's fine. We're in good shape. Clothing is a little rocky, but we're probably going to need to put another person in there too. Alright. So once we can get that tool, we'll be in good shape. Let's get this to tier 2. Maybe start working on the blacksmith. Get the forester. Let's go to the advanced tab. Set the work area for this whole area that we're cutting everything in. Looks like we have 9 months of fuel. We've got 3 people. We're going to boot this down to 2. It looks like we are going through a lot of timber. I want to make sure I have a lot of people out. And let's continue to upgrade to tier 2. We're going to take a slight dip because of that. So I'm going to cut the taxes until we can get the booze flowing. That's going to be here any day now. And the apples will come in a couple years. We'll have our 4 food types and everyone's going to be happy. Well, maybe not. I don't know. They might not be happy. But I'll be happy. I'll have money. Alright, 34, 34, 34. I'm going to get another group of archers, to be quite honest. I want to make sure we can survive whatever comes at us. We have enough money to hire a mercenary group right now. So, if we do get attacked by the Lord, it's going to be a little messy, but I know I can get us through it. So that's good, right? Right, forester, everything is looking great. Yeah, we're doing wonderful down here. Church is getting upgraded. Let's put that to a very high. We got 2 families working on upgrading all of that, so that's wonderful. Okay, let's upgrade some more stables. I like them looking sharp. We also want to make sure that we don't go too crazy. We got 20 mass space. It looks like they're able to keep up with everything so far, so we're just going to let that continue to move along the way that it has been. Our approval, as you can see, not the clothing and the taxation, as you can see, is -7. So like that's what I was talking about. Lack of entertainment starting to hurt us. We got the church up. We're gonna boot up. We transitioned a little too hard, but that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna get there. But yeah, the berry situation is pretty bad right now. I like to do the set it and forget it approach, so I'm just gonna leave those gents there. I don't like to min-max. I mean, I like to min-max the stuff, but I don't like to constantly be pulling people out and shifting them around. If I can avoid it, I do. So we're in good shape. And once I get some basic materials, we're gonna be in good shape. We got the 20 ore, so we can put 1 person in the bloomery, and we can place 1 person in the smithy, and we're never gonna make more than, I would say, 5 tools, and we're never gonna make more than, I would say, 30 slabs. And that will help us limit how much iron is purchased, because it will only purchase up to the point that we're not using it, and that's great. So we're in good shape. The food's going to come in real nice, like here pretty soon. Got a lot of houses. We have a total of 18 burgage plots. So we have no available areas for people to move in. So I am at this point going to get up 2 more double burgage plots. I think we're going to have to go a little bit. Fortunately, you have to turn the snap to road tool off. Get that perfect width. There you go. You want to get where there are 3, and then you can turn that into 2 double typically. See, in this scenario, it hates me. I don't know. See what happens. There we go. Perfect. Alright. I want to get as many families into these things as possible. So we're just going to go down the line. Let's look for anything that we can upgrade for another family. And that will be great. Okay. Yeah, we just need to get the boots going. I'm feeling pretty confident about everything. Got 37 roof tiles. So I do need builders. I think, let's see. We have 102 clay. I'm going to pull everybody out of clay mining. I'm going to let them catch up over here. Yeah, that's good. So we got the forager hut there. That's beautiful. Bloomery. Everything's going. Malt house. Smithy. Let's see. What am I missing? Yeah, the clay furnace right here. We'll just let them keep going. It's no biggie. And we're going to get back up and running here in no time. Money is really pouring in now. The people are starting to come in more. Well, yeah, we definitely need to get more families coming in to grow our army. Keep expanding all of these. Best of our ability. Let's make sure that everything up here has been expanded. Perfect. We should start seeing a little bit of apple production in the 2nd and 3rd year. Just won't be the full yield. And, ooh, we just got our first everything. So windmill on, and the communal oven on, and we're gonna have to actually rearrange things. The malt house on, and the tavern on, and that's all she wrote. Perfect. I don't want to expand that family. So we desperately need more families. We have 3 available, 47%, so that kind of hurts us. We're gonna pull the logging camp back. That's gonna help us out. I may have to min-max after all, just for a short period of time. I'm gonna pull everybody out, but leave 1 just so I don't screw up too bad. Totally forget about it, which is what I usually end up doing. So, yeah, that'll be fine. Let's continue to order ox, get everything going. I'm feeling pretty good about this. We're gonna get above 50% here in a moment. Once I get the alcohol coming in, that's gonna be of a huge help. I don't believe that there are any other issues. Let's look at this negative for a second. Taxation. Yeah. We're going to get back up because we ended the taxes, lack of entertainment, market food variety. Yeah, we need to get the multiple food types. We need to get 3. And we'll get that with the production of bread here momentarily. So hopefully they get their asses in gear here. Right now they're threshing the grain. So we don't want them to leave it there for too long though. But, alright, we got 4 ox going. This is beautiful. So they're plowing one side. Ox are going on another side. This is what you want to see. For good production values right there. So that's beautiful. Okay, look at that. We can do the cobbler workshop. And then we can also do the blacksmith. So we no longer need the smithy on. We're going to keep the bloomery running so that we can start getting into crossbow production here shortly. Things are looking up for us. We need to probably pull some people out of something. But I don't know exactly where. We have 3 available living spaces, but we're not above 50%. We're going to get this all remedied here soon. You can see we have a 35% entertainment. We're really ramping up the booze production brewery over here. This is honestly perfect. And now that we have boots coming in, go to the advanced tab. Let's put a production limit. We don't need too many. I'm going to do a production limit of 100. There we go. Beautiful. And we'll sell 50 and keep 50. I like to keep what we need, which is burgage plots plus like 10 or 20, just for weird accounting errors within the system, because sometimes things get lost in movement, and it's a bit of paranoia. But yeah, the clothing and everything is going up. So we are going to need another person, most likely in the large storehouse. So let's put one more dude in there as well. We're going to be pushing way above where we need to be here momentarily. We got 160 apples, got 44 bread. All right, so we're getting all our food types. That's going to diminish how much we're eating of all the other food types. So the more I have, the better. It's more maintainable. Continue to get some more ox in here. All right, so now we got 10 ox for the town and 4 for everything up here. I think we're pulling in more than enough. We still have barley. We still have tons of stuff. We have 229 grain and 8 flour. So, yeah, they need to get to work. I might need to put another individual into that area. But everything is really dialed in around the granary here. And the marketplace is pretty happy, I think. And so we're in good shape. So we'll let these families move in. And we're definitely going to have to do 5 more burgage plots. Let's look at our army real quick. Army's looking about as good as one army could look. But we need a bit more. So we also need to get the castle planner. We also need to get the garrison tower up. I think currently right now we're just in a bit of a pickle. But we'll get there. So how much clay do I have? 58 clay. Alright. I'm going to pull this gent out of the clay furnace. So we're just going to completely stop all production there. Let's just take a quick gander. Ah, the stone. I forgot all about you. Alright, demolish that. That's 1 worker. Perfect. We're back to business. So we just need to get above 50%. We'll find a nice little equilibrium here. We can go to tier 3 now. That's a beautiful thing. I want to go to tier 3 on these gents over here. That's more families. And yeah, tier 3 here as well. Cool. That's great. That's great. We're coming up now. This is going to be wonderful. We've got 100% entertainment supply bonuses. We've got everybody going up. We're going to double our population now and not have to really increase burgage plots. And we're going to get a little bit more money per family. So that's also a good thing. The oven's working overtime. 76 bread. Yeah. There. Look at that. There we go. 53%. Everything's coming together now. I think we've done it. We've made a glorious little town for us. All right. So next chapter is going to be all about crossbowmen getting ready for the Lord's attack. He's going to be coming probably very soon. So we need to continue doing what we're doing. Stay tuned. Hello everybody, welcome to Chapter 4. So there's some pretty big things coming at us. The Lord has taken every single territory. He's going to come at us probably in the next few minutes, to be honest. Beginning of a new year. We got a lot going on. We got the blacksmith up finally, so we can start making focused iron parts. If I just had 1 crossbow unit, we could take anybody right now. So I'm pretty afraid. The mercenaries that we can only afford are the Wayward Sons. I can't afford these light infantry. And I don't believe I'm going to be able to get the treasury up sufficiently enough to recruit anybody. We could try. We're up to 56% now, so that's really, really good. So let's take a look. Are there any bandit camps or anything I could do to get a quick buck right now? No, there are not. So we're going to have to fight him in a really intelligent way. I think what we're going to do is lead him down into this bridge area here. Let's take a look. Where, if we hire the mercenaries, will they come? Or do. They don't always come where they say they are, but they're going to come from over here. So if I can lead them across this bridge, I can get side shots and I can defeat them. So this is going to be a really interesting battle. Let's speed this up. Boop, just dropped to 46%. Everything will be all right. We're getting everything going. Things are in a really good place for us, so I'm not too concerned. Food's coming in. We're going to be above 50% here in no time. The big kicker for us, though, is getting those families in because we do need more soldiers. Now, oh my gosh. Okay, so he's coming already. All right, so the first thing that we need to do is immediately order the Wayward Son. And we need to get them moving. Let's see where they're coming from. Okay, so they are actually coming from all the way over here. So there's a bridge right here we could fight at, and then there's the bridge over here we can fight at. So I'm going to get these guys running. And I'm going to summon all of my men down here. We're going to use our main army. Let's bait them as a team. Actually, we might be able to get some pop shots off. So I'm going to get everybody over here. I'm going to run the timer as much as I can to allow these gents over here to get as close to this as possible. I think if we can get them to come and try to cross this bridge, we're going to be able to kill everybody. But we need to make sure we don't screw up, and we need to make sure we proc the actual battle. So let's just give it a few more moments. We do have some time. I think, they're going to be a little tuckered out, but it's going to be okay. So what we want to do is position these gents in the thinnest line possible. Get some pop shots. We're going to do shoot at will there and shoot at will here. You have to do shoot at will for this to work. Mainly because we don't like will, but also because it gives a massive increase. And we need to get as many side shots as possible. Okay. We're doing pretty decent over here, so let them kind of catch up. All right, we're gonna do it now. Enemies declared, and we're gonna hold ourselves here. The battle is in this area, so we need to make sure that the battle starts. I think my whole army has to be present, so I'm kind of worried about these guys being down here. But yeah, we need to lead them, and we have to have a present army. There we go. Battle begins. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, let's do this. We're going to position our men down here. I need to make sure they don't burn everything to the ground. And we want to get... yeah, we don't have too many men. We want to get these guys on the side down here. Shoot at will. Also on the side down here. Shoot at will. I'm going to keep these guys here off to the side. Shoot at will. And we're going to try to bottleneck this spot as far back as possible to allow for shots and put them into a stand your ground. Now, the enemy should just charge straight at us. We left the circle. See what happens. I think the circle should move. There we go. Yep, circle will move. They're going to come right for us. All right, that's perfect. So these guys I'm going to place right here. Here they come already. Get everybody into position. All right. So this is where the magic happens. And yeah, we need to get all of these guys right there. They're charging forward. I told you to stand your freaking ground. Okay. And yeah, these guys too. So if I can get some side shots off, that's where the magic's really going to happen. These guys need to run. Their archers are shooting mine, and you know that's going to suck, but we'll get over it. Important is we get these side shots with point blank shot, basically. Fire at will. Fire at will increases damage at close range, so we're going to start ripping them apart. Yeah, you can see we're killing even armored soldiers and stuff with bows. This is the trick to using archers appropriately. A lot of people say archers suck, and they are right. They do suck. They're a little difficult to use, but in the right, like this, you can use them like this. They're beautiful. All right. Yeah, we're doing a good job. And then we're going to immediately run over. Cool. There we go. Side shots. We're going to scare these gents off. We got the brigands over here. We got archers over here. I'm going to move these guys a little bit closer. We actually haven't lost any retinue yet, which is pretty surprising. Let's speed this up. Okay. So here's the dealio. We have done a really good job of killing everybody. I am going to run forward with my units here. And I'm going to run forward with these units. Keep my archers back here. I want to get back in the circle. So we're going to do that. Perfect. Having a little bit of a difficulty. Okay, broken. Alright, now we just need to find those archers. I'm going to bring everybody over here. Speed this up. No idea where those archers are. Oh, here they are. Get everybody in here. Alright. There it is. Are there more? Alright, we won. Oof. That's how you do that with all archers. My God. That was kind of a nightmare. Okay. Yeah. Let's put everybody back to work. We did it. That was pretty intense. Now we're going to start working on getting crossbowmen up. So I am going to switch over here to crossbows. Production limit on that is going to be 100. And don't worry about that limiting how many crossbowmen you have. Once the crossbowman is formed, it doesn't factor it in. We're going to take out an archer. And we're going to eventually weed out all of our archers. But crossbows will start being produced. We definitely need to get our retinue up to max if we're going to continue to be jerks like this. So let me see what I got here. We need 10 logs. Not bad. We're in good spot with everything right there. This is glorious. So that was pretty intense. I didn't know if I was going to lose there. I almost just lost the whole game. So that was embarrassing. All right, we need to get the foragers going again. So I'm going to put 2 and 1. And we need to get families coming in. I have no one to build anything, but we have 7 free spots. So we're just going to let it play out, get some more families, and catch up. Look at that. 10 crossbow, man. Those 10 crossbowmen would have shredded. Okay, So what we witnessed and what happened to us will never happen again. We need to continue to deck out all of these to tier 3, get the families coming in. We're at 59%. We're going to get there as fast as possible. We got a 10% tax. The money's coming in. We got 96 in the treasury. We got a lot of money over here. Let's get ourselves another ox. Now, you're probably wondering, why don't you just get, you know, an animal thing? I don't know. I don't know. Like, it would be smart, but I'm gonna be honest, there's kind of like this like lottery thing or like gambling thing. I like clicking that button. Realistically, I'm just addicted to clicking that order ox button. All right, we got that settlement level. All right, we're tanking a little bit because of the taxes, but you know, we're gonna get there. So I'm going to get the advanced skinning, and that's going to help us out tremendously in keeping up multiple food types. Because see, we're going through the meat. Got 190 veggies, 138 berries, 164 bread, 91 apples. We got 4 food types right there. We introduce that meat. That's going to be wonderful because that's 5 food types, and we only need 4 on those tier 3s. So we're in a place where pretty much everything can be upgraded, and that's a beautiful place to be. So we got pretty much everything we need. So let's look. We got 100% across the board. We don't need to do another granary. Actually, that's not true because we're going into tier 4 food. So we are going to need 1 additional granary. Now, I'm storing everything here. Now, what I wanted to do was have a runner granary up here. And another thing is, it's like, wow, TactiCat, that granary is really, really far away from, you know, everything, right? So if you've watched my food guide, only 8,000 of you had. It's incredibly insightful, and it explains how all this works. So food is consumed from granaries first, all right? And it's magically, like through the ether, through the air. The only time it's consumed from a market stall is if that's the only place that it exists. So all foods are eaten equally. So say I consume, we're going to keep it simple. Say I have 4 food types and I consume 20. It's going to consume 5 of each. So let's say I have no meat. It'll consume 5 veggies, 5 berries, 5 bread, 5 apples. It will consume it from the granary first and then the market stall. So if I always have those food items in the granary, I only stock, like, the market stall could have, is stocked with the meat, the apples, and the bread. These could have been here from 5 years ago, as long as I'm always stocking the granary. So you don't actually have to restock market stalls ever, as long as you have those food items meeting consumption in your granary. So you can have your granaries further away. But pantry items are a totally, like, food consumed from the pantries of a burgage plot, like these 33 apples, but they're not factored in unless there is nothing existing in market stalls and nothing existing in granaries. So there's multiple calculations. I have a whole guide on this. It's pretty crazy. But just to tell you the science, what this means essentially, if you don't give a crap about all that, you know, numbers and blah, 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 the Matrix was an okay movie type stuff, you can build your granaries far away. What matters is gathering things out of the pantry as quickly as possible. So having a granary that just does apples and 1 worker, even if he's not doing a market stall, that's going to aid your bottom line. So having those things is pretty sweet. We, on the other hand, though, are going to use this gent as a market stall. So I have a lot of people that I need. I do need to get some of these burgage plots up. We have 9 and plus 2. I'm just going to run the clock and get some more people. We are getting a good amount of crossbow men. I'm going to remove the archer, and I'm going to get us 1 more crossbow. I'm actually going to remove archers entirely. So I changed my mind. We're getting rid of archers. And we're going to need to get more people in the logging camp. We're out of logs. We're out of everything. I think we have 1 gent in the forester. That's a beautiful thing right there. And we're doing wonderful. I mean, all things considered, not the worst day of our lives. And we have 73 shoes. So now we can get into the shoe business. We are the Al Bundys of Manor Lords. Not exactly what I thought I'd be doing today, but all right, let's export. We're producing 100 of these, so we're going to export anything over 50. We need 160 for that route, but that is a beautiful route to have. We got families moving in. We got people who are happy, joyous, and free. We're not even at full apples yet, and everybody's doing a fantastic job. Got a little bit of barley. We have 13 malt. It looks like we're 81 ale. We're going to be in a position where we can start trading ale because we're mass producing it. So that's pretty sweet. We need to kind of just see how things play out. We're going to order a horse for the trade post. We haven't even done that yet. And we're going to set the livestock assignment for that horse. We'll order another one here soon too. But we're in really good shape. Money's going to start coming in a little bit faster now. especially because we're getting 2 per family on these tier 3s. Gonna probably need a little bit more clay here. Church was upgraded in the previous episodes, so we're in good shape. I may need to bury some bodies, but I definitely have a lot to do. So, these gents up here don't have drinking water. I believe I had 2 wells. The tier 1 well does 15 burgage plots, and the tier 2 well can supply up to 50. So what we're going to do is try to look for a place we can place another well. I'm going to do it right here in the middle of all this. Now, they will have to travel all the way down here for that, which is kind of crappy. But, you know, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. This isn't about the same distance. They only have to go so many times. Now, we're getting double meat and double hides off that, so that's really going to help us with the shoe business. We got a lot of good catalysts coming. Unfortunately, we're probably be wise to just completely remove the tax at this point because we don't even have much to tax. And get the 2 families per month coming in so we can get production back up and start really hammering things out. Alright, we got the bloomery going, got the clay furnace doing its thing, we got woodcutters doing their thing. 5 months of fuel. Forest is not happy. Nobody is happy. So let's look at this one more time. Looking good. It's looking good. I think we're actually okay on berries. I'm bringing in enough. I don't need to bring in the whole 440 per year unless I want to sell them. And at a certain point, food does rot. Spoilage is pretty substantial year over year. So you really just want to kind of dial into what you're consuming plus or minus just a tad bit to account for droughts and just randomness of the game. But overall, we've kept our animals in one place and haven't glitched them out. So I think everything is doing hunky-dory. 100% across the board. So yeah, if I don't do any, we have 20 constructed burgage plots now. So if I don't do any more burgage plots, I'm not going to need any additional market stalls. So right now we're just growing families, and that's a beautiful thing. And the crossbowmen are going up pretty well. Granary right here. Eek, man, we got a lot of food. Got a lot of barley. Pretty good. Pretty good, I'm not going to lie. Burgage plots are all fully staffed there. Oh man. Yeah, we're going to get some wells up here soon. Yeah, they don't have any water access. What a shame. So, yeah, we need to definitely get a worker. Trying to think where I could pull some workers from. Looks like I'm going to have to... I remember last video, I was like, I hate min-maxing and moving people, but I kind of have to at this point. We need to get this well up. Get people happy. All right, we're above... Yeah, we were above 77% for a second. That was good. All right, new families moving in. Perfect. Perfect. All right, I'm going to put 2 families in the forager hut. I stopped, so you're probably wondering, like, why am I not doing herb gardens? Right now, herbs don't do anything. At a future point, they're going to be a medicine, and they can be used to stave off diseases and all types of stuff. They're a really good early trade item, but what happens is it creates a logistical cost on your granary workers who have to come and grab that stuff. Now, you can trade them, but again... going into my trade guide, I found that using 1 trade post usually yields the most money with the current mechanics, which are really wonky. And I won't go into all that. That's the way I do it. And if you want to know why, you can watch one of my other episodes that go into that. But because of that, you really want to focus on 4 to 5 trade items, and so that's why I don't do low-value trade items, essentially. So that's why I don't buy herbs. And so I stick to things that make a lot of money. Right now, warbows aren't going to make a whole lot of money. We're going to wait until we have enough crossbows for our entire army, and then we'll go back to warbow production. We have a 150. We really need to start selling items that we can mass produce. Planks are a good one to sell. We're selling them by hand. Stone we have 99 of right now, so we don't need to purchase any. Berries, bread, these are all good exports too. Bread, ale is a good export. Wool is an amazing export. Charcoal is probably one of the better exports. But we're unfortunately just not there yet. So we need a little bit more and we can start getting rid of these boots. I think the boots are going to be a huge moneymaker for us. So that's the next thing that we're going to do, is just establish that trade route. But we got to wait until we get some more money. But we got a lot of families moving in, so I think we're in really good shape. Things are finally going our way. Let's get shoes. Right on. All right, now we're going to start trading shoes. That's going to bring in a lot of money. Start taxing that in a little bit. Luckily, we haven't hit the point where we have a king's tax. Everybody else is doing fantastic. Now I can set it and forget it on my forager hut. I feel like farming is actually exactly where it needs to be with 8 families and everything here. So you can see this modest setup is bringing in an impressive amount of food. Very impressive amount of food. The marketplace is maxed out. Everything is maxed out. I do believe what we're going to need to do now is turn the clay furnace on and just start. One thing I like about pulling in raw materials is you can do it very slowly. Like, I don't have to buy a trade route for iron, and I don't have to buy a trade route for clay. So we're going to want a minimum of 20 clay. But once I start running out, I'll import it. Now, what you want to do when you're in that situation is just make sure you're capping your production so you don't go crazy. So we're going to say at any given time we want 40 clay roof tiles. That way we can we don't have to pay out the wazoo to get clay. We can make our own tiles. I like to produce the majority of my own things. Now, I didn't even do chickens. I didn't do anything in these backyard extensions. Quite honestly, I didn't need to, but, you know, eggs are kind of cool in that they offset the consumption of other goods, which makes them easier to maintain. But realistically, or another ox, it's not difficult to do these things. Let's upgrade this stone well just for shits and giggles, to be honest. We don't need to. And it looks like we finally have full mature apple trees. You can see we have 260 apples, 264 veggies. So you can see just these 2 veggie farms and this, you know, light setup here is feeding quite a bit. We've got 132 people, but we're going to have a lot more. And I think we're going to hit our capacity here relatively soon. But yes, we do have quite a bit to do here in terms of upgrading everybody. Boyer, we're not going to do tier 3. These gents over here are going to go to tier 3 as soon as possible. I think what's holding me back right now is lumber. So we're going to put 3 people in here. Perfection. And now we can get this up. We can always pull back on this stuff later. You can see the forester is starting to replant a lot of trees, so that's a wonderful thing right there. And we're going to keep just moving forward as fast as possible. This is the gravy train right here. This is beautiful, though. Oh, I'm liking that. That is a good one. You gotta love this game. It's just so graphically pleasing. But this village is starting to really turn out well. I think we're making good strides. We got 50 crossbowmen now. We have the capacity to start doing a lot. Now, we needed 10 timber in order to get to the next stage. So we're just going to keep trekking along. We do have... Yes, look at this. Yeah. We can get these guys to tier 3. Get the families coming in. This is beautiful. Looks like we're still waiting on some families to move into those homes over there. Everything is perfect. Everything is perfect. Alright. We have a granary up here if we want to start putting apples. We're not quite there. They're storing even though there's nothing there. We don't want to do any stalls with this worker. It's going to be logistics. We have 4 extra people now, so that's really cool. We're going to put 1, 2 people and order another horse into the trading post. We're going to really start kicking off the trade now. Hunting camp is doing really well with just 1 person there, which is honestly really crazy. And yeah, the money is starting to flow in. Everything is starting to go our way finally. I think we're at that point where we're basically unbeatable. And that's a good place to be. Tier 2. Yep, all these guys are tier 2s. These are tier 3s. The guys up here need to be upgraded to tier 3, but looks like we're a little bit low on boards. I'm going to come down here and see what's going on. 5 timber, 14 planks. Yeah, they're having a little bit of a trouble getting the wood in, so they'll catch up. It looks like you can see that there's a drought in our area, it looks like. Everything looks really ugly. Oh, it's December. It's winter. I was like, what happened? All right. We got plenty of food, though, and we got 5 food types, so we're at a really good equilibrium. It does appear that fuel is starting to become an issue, which is kind of weird. We are selling some of it, so we're just going to boot the woodcutter lodge up. And we'll get our next level here in a second. So we can go into coal. I don't think we even need like honey, to be honest. I think it'd just be a waste of people. So we could probably go into irrigation for droughts. But the next thing I think I want to do is charcoal. And we can start making charcoal and selling charcoal as another trade item. It's a really, really good one. Especially like this, I had, you know, a rich deposit of animals and really good farmland, but no other kind of industry. Go into charcoal making. One, it reduces, you know, it doubles the amount of firewood that you're basically, because 1 firewood is the 2 charcoal, and then you can sell it. It's just amazing. Amazing. And yeah, we got families moving in, and we definitely have the people for it. Right now, I think we're missing just the equipment. I would have liked to have gotten a joiner's workshop up. So that sucks. Yeah, if I could get a joiner's workshop up, we could really do a whole lot here. All right, this guy's going to tier 3. Let's see what else we got going on. These guys up here are getting close. We just need the materials. I think we're missing, again, wood. But we got a lot going on over here. I feel like we do definitely have enough ox at this point. We have 12 that can do any of the household movements of wood, and we got 4 dedicated to farming. So a pretty good setup. All right, we got a lot of people now. So I'm gonna max out the trade post. Still waiting on those horses to arrive. All right. Yeah, we don't need really more than 3 foragers. We're not gonna try to hit the max on berries. I don't think it's necessary. If it becomes necessary, I can boot it up 1 more family. Let's get these guys to tier 3. Really, really awesome. Gonna increase pantry, gonna increase the amount of workers. I don't really worry about what jobs these people do because of how efficient they are. They typically can do everything pretty well. I honestly don't even care if they farm. They do a good job of when they put their minds to it. There we go. This is looking great. And we're going to put 1 individual here just to help out with logistics. And I don't want any of this stuff stored there. All I want here is apples and probably veggies. To assist with that. I don't even need to do this. I'm just doing it because I can. And they're going to upgrade that to a large granary. Yeah, I don't even need to. Get that guy to tier 3. All right, perfection. Mostly everybody is tier 3 now except for the artisans. Once I up them to tier 3, any worker that comes in there is going to be dedicated to that job, and they're kind of useless to you. All right, tier 3 right there. We got our settlement level. We're going to go straight into charcoal. This is going to be fantastic because we really, really need another trade item. So let's go to gathering, charcoal maker, and we can put the charcoal maker right next to all these houses. Something about that just feels wrong, but also at the same time so right. All right, so we have the trading post here and the storehouse here, the firewood over there. I'm going to put it right here. On the other side, it's close enough to the animals that it shouldn't piss them off too much. The good position. Our army is 36 out of 36. Cool. We're just gonna keep making crossbowmen. We don't need too much. I need 10 timber so that I can upgrade the manor once we start gathering more forces. But we can just use the bridges to pretty much fight off any enemy. And the crossbowmen can usually murk an entire unit in one go. But look at that. 15 more families are going to be moving in here soon. We're above 79%. Let's come up here and let's actually start taxing at 6%. I think we can still stay above 75 if we do it correctly. Got a lot of positives. Got all the foods. Got everything going for us. Can double up on those houses. Not bad. Oh yeah. We're going to get a lot of veggies now though. With all those families. Kind of interesting how the tier 3 houses can look different. I mean, these are all tier 3 houses. These 2 are small. This one's huge. This one's just like, oh, we'll just put it in the side. Kind of funny. Didn't have as many apple trees either, but yeah, I like it. Gives some uniqueness to it. We have 7 free families now. All right, barley's doing great. Everything seems to be doing pretty well. I can't really see any 257 ale. Okay. I think it's time to start selling any excess alcohol. Gotta be a little careful with this, but at the same time, it's just gonna rot. So we're gonna do anything over 150. I'm gonna purchase that route. So yeah, and then the next one for sure is gonna be charcoal. I think that's in, I don't think that's commodities. There's a lot of good stuff. Crafting and fuel. There we go. So export, right? So we're going to export any coal we have over 150. And I'm going to buy that trade route. Charcoal kiln, we're going to put 2 people in there. I'm going to get 3 people on the woodcutter. Make sure that we're bringing in enough. Kind of deforesting this whole area. Might need to start rotating here soon, but eventually we're going to get full up on everything and we're going to be in good shape because we do have limits. Typically, you go through this period where you're just burning through resources and then you have more than you can handle. All right. Well, yeah, right now we're producing a large army, so that also has a cost. We're going to keep these guys at tier 2 for now. We'll upgrade them in a little bit. But everybody is at 100%. Yep. 100% all around. Man, yeah, we're doing awesome. So yeah, between veggies, apples, guy over there, and this guy over here doing their job. Everybody's wonderful. This is pretty sweet, actually. I think the one guy there is fine. Clay furnace is going strong. I don't think we actually need any more clay tiles. We have 48 clay, 40 roof tiles. Ooh, shit. Alright, they're coming from way over there. So, I'm not actually too afraid. Banditos. We don't need a big army for them. Coming from over here. Yeah. So we don't need to worry too much. You can usually shoot down bandits before they even get to you. What we're gonna do is put these. I know this doesn't make sense, but we're gonna put them in single file lines like this. You'd think they would shoot each other in the back, but they'll shoot through themselves and they'll kill anything that comes at them. All right, yeah, we got a big band of banditos coming. This is actually a little iffy. Yeah, we'd be better off taking them on a bridge. Unfortunately, we might be able to build a bridge. 44, there we go. Yeah, there's a lot of them. We're gonna do this. Nothing like building a bridge out of thin air to kill a bunch of banditos. This will help us in a lot of ways, though. It's a good spot. Perfect. And we'll do another bridge at another point. That will help us. Good way to spend money. All right, they're gonna come. They're gonna come right for us, so we can do this. The trick, as I've said before, is to get your guys back as far as they possibly can go. All right. We have 8 free families. I'm not exactly sure what to do with all of them. I'll find something. Here we go. Crossbowmen are stupid powerful. Doesn't look like they're... Yeah, here they come. They're coming right at us. They have no range support, too. I'm wondering if in the future they're going to add range support for bandits, because that definitely would make them a little bit more difficult. Right now, they're just kind of hooligans, right? I mean, they are intimidating enough, but you think they would be a little bit better at their jobs. Here we go. We're going to melt. We're going to melt these fools. Yeah, usually the first volley peppers them, and the second volley, that's when they start falling. There we go. We're going to get those side shots. Go into cinematic mode. Yep, dropped one. Yeah, only the ones that have visibility are getting shots off. Over here, though, it's a lot. As long as we keep these... Yeah, let's get these guys and stand your ground. I mean, they're pushing us a little bit, but every time they push us, we get a bit better of a shot. That's not bad. From the bank right there. Okay. There we are. We did it. Whew. Alright, that was fun. Let's send these guys back home. But that was a pretty big bandito raid. But yeah, I don't think anybody can take us now with 3 crossbow units. We're kind of untouchable. Let's see what I got. Only 10 lumber. Oh boy. I'm always just spending so much. Alright. Well, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next chapter. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the final installment of Manor Lords Building Cool City. Last episode, we finally got our crossbowmen up. We're in a really good position here. Now, we're going to need at least a population of 320 to 30 to hit a max army size. We could probably get about 4 of these bad boys going. So let's keep trekking along. Let's get these other houses up to tier 3 as fast as possible. get all these families to move in. We're at an 80% approval bonus, and we desperately need to get the manor up. So let's see. Can we do it now? Nope, still need 10 wood. We've been going through wood mighty fast. We're using a lot of boards, but that's all right. That's all right. Now, I'm just going to basically rely on crossbowmen for a bit. Yeah, they're pretty darn powerful. We got the charcoal kiln over here going mighty strong. Let's go back over to the trading post. Probably need to set exports to 40 now. Pause the game real quick. Let's come over to the saw pit. Now, we have a production limit of 40. So we're going to put that up to 60. So we'll sell anything over that. I think that's... Also, we're going to update the timber reserve to 10. That way I don't have to keep contending with all this and we can get that manor upgraded. So we got the taxes coming in. We're going to get our army back up and running. Things are looking mighty fine for us. I mean, our food is through the roof. We're positive on all types of foods. Got lots of everything. This is actually pretty terrific. We got 9 free families. So we're going to put a couple people. Now we do want to get that third forager hut so that we can get the max amount of berries. And place him right there. That's going to be perfect. And I think we're in really good shape. So let's just go down the line and make sure everyone's good. Yep. There's a lot that we could do here. I'm not going to upgrade these guys to tier 3 quite yet. Not going to update. Ooh. Could add an extra family to the brewer. I actually kind of like that. We're going to do that. And, oh, yeah. We just need to keep going. So, looks like the farming is doing pretty well. The barley's coming in at the right amount. We're also exporting a lot. So, coming back over here like we were talking about. Anything over 40 boards, it's great. We could export barley, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to export any of our food products. I'd rather it rot. It's better to have it than to not have it. We're importing clay to the point that we need it, but that won't be much in a moment here. We're exporting anything over, I'm going to say 200 firewood now. And we're exporting anything over 150 coal. So eventually we are going to start just massing the coal, and that's going to be a massive trade for us too. The more money we have in regional wealth, the more we can tax and get that bad boy up. So we're in a good spot now. It does appear that I finally have my 10 timber. And yeah, it's best just to go to the saw pit and set that distinction so you don't have to wrestle with it. So let's do the garrison tower. Perfect. Commit. All right. That will give us our 1 melee unit to protect the crossbowmen. And we're going to be in a really good harmony. So everything's coming along. Our next goal in all of this is to go to war with the Lord. So once we can take the Lord in an open playing field with no real advantages but our army, you're typically in good shape. Another thing that I want to do, because we're resource rich, and I know I will slightly regret doing this, is I do think we're going to upgrade one of these guys to a joiner's workshop. One of the double burgage plots. Problem with that is 4 families will be doing that. I don't want to do any more burgage plots because, well, I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Whether it's 3 or 4, as long as I can feed them. Just the principle. So yeah, we're going to do a joiner's workshop right here. And I think I'm just going to go down the line and start tier 3ing everything at this point. Get as many soldiers as possible. But I would like to get one extra unit for combat. I would like to get some footmen. Some extra footmen, and then this army right here I think can easily take pretty much anything. So we're in good shape. I mean, we could add some more housing. I mean, we do have the people. If we go in increments of 5, it will only require so many extra stalls. You know what? Screw it. We can do what we want. There's 2, so we can get 3 more. And now I was gonna use the space down here for a lot of that stuff. So yeah, let's build this whole dang thing out. Let's do it proper. All right, so that's 4. Not bad. And so we were gonna do 5. You know what? Let's do it in sets of 10s. let's just forget everything I said. Let's just build a bunch of... Let's get ourselves a big old army. Go the distance. Why not? All right, double burgage plot. Double burgage plot. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So here we are, the joiners. So we want small shields. I'm going to set a limit of 50. We're going to need a lot more planks. I think what we're going to actually end up doing is getting a secondary logging camp. So we want to stay away from the area over here. I think the area over here is probably good. Let's do a logging camp over there. Beautiful thing. Okay, so we're in really good shape. Let's upgrade these hitching posts. Buy an ox. Yeah, this is great. We have 7 free people. Definitely want to get everything kind of running optimally. So we're gonna want to get, I'm gonna assume 2 more market stalls for the storehouse and 2 more for the large granary. If we have any issues, we can go from there, but that should easily get us to the 100% with probably a little bit extra. This is perfect. Let's double up these houses. We're just gonna keep going down the line, get all these guys to tier 3, build ourselves out as strong as possible. And my rule of thumb is once I can take the Lord once, I pretty much have beaten the game. Because if you can take them once, you can take them over and over and over again. It's a good metric, to be quite honest. And it never failed me. So we're going to do 3 people in this logging camp. And we're going to forest this whole area. Probably get ourselves up a forester, though I think we'll have won the game forever needing that. But it's always good. Good to have that. Now you can see we have an enormous amount of fuel, enormous amount of food. We're making a lot of money. Things are going really well for us. We already got 17 footmen militia. Oh man, yeah, having 4 people making shields really does pay off. That's a beautiful thing right there. The woodcutter's doing a good job. Clay furnace, bloomery, the malt house, small stables, everything is proper place. The large tavern. Our industry is all kind of spread out, so they got the saw pit here. Let's put 2 people. They supposedly fixed that in the last patch so that you can get the full benefit of 2 people in the saw pits. Used to be that you didn't really get much. That's okay. We need to keep going. So we have 24. I think we're going to go to 30. That gives us enough for 6 houses. And there we go. We don't have to be perfect. We just need to be close. So this is 4. That gives us 2 more, but every one of these is really nice. I think we're going to leave it there. I think 28 is going to be where we leave it. That's mainly because of food consumption. I think that's going to be a good mark for us. We still got a lot of families to move in. 12 and another 4 being built and more once those are tier 3. Alright, 4 families in total. Should do everything here perfectly. So we're at a good equilibrium there. 100% across the board. We're really rolling fast, actually. This is pretty amazing. Doing great on the wild animals, bringing in a lot of pelts. Take a look at what we got. 175 ale, 51 shoes. So we're selling all the excess shoes. You can see that we're really starting to accumulate some wealth here and some taxes. All of these are great things. We can now get up to 24 of our own retinue. So we're going to customize this, and we're going to load these bad boys out to the brim. Nice. Okay, so our army is very strong. So the main thing limiting us right now is simply getting more people in here. Let's speed this bad boy up. Things are little village. Oh, he's coming back. He's coming back. He wants more. He didn't get enough of me the first time. Now we don't have to sit on a bridge. We can fight him in the fields like men. Or we can running away is kind of cool though too. I don't mind it. But we can use a lot of this to our advantage. I actually think we're going to use this. They have to come down these narrow strips or from the side. So we can better use our limited infantry over here. This will be really interesting. I'm kind of handicapping myself because I could just go to the bridge, right? You know, I could just go to the bridge and make it real easy. But I want to have a cool fight. So we're going to use the natural progress. So put them 2 deep. If you have them spread out as one person, they're more likely to die. 2 deep is pretty consistently awesome. And the same over here, 2 deep. Stand your ground. Now what we're going to do is we're going to place two lines of crossbowmen here. And we're going to place 2 lines of crossbowmen there. And we're going to see if that works. I think they're going to pop out over here. We can play it by ear and maneuver people around if we need to. Well, what do you know? They're coming from the bottom. So they're going to come across the bridge or wherever they want. That actually makes this even funnier because we could, in theory, just use the tip here. And then holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy cow. They're hitting me. Okay, those are the mercenaries. And oh my god. Okay, so no one's gonna move. We got 2 armies coming at us. That was not what I was expecting. So we got to kill all these guys before they get here. Oh man, I was a little caught off. That is 3 foot soldiers over there. Okay, okay, that's how they roll. We got our crossbowmen over here already in range. They're about to unload justice. Hopefully no ox run through here and get in the way. But we should be able to hurt a lot of people. All right, cool. Yeah, they're coming that way. The soldiers are coming that way, so I am going to stop them right here. They're all trying to charge through there. We got these guys for the intercept. We're pelting their main dudes. They're snaking around to the left right there. All right, so we got ourselves a little conga line. These guys are a little far off, so I think we can do all this. But yes, the conga line of death is coming. Ooh, that guy got one on the neck. Yeah, that's not nice. Okay, we got a lot going on for us right here. I feel like he's doing good. I feel like these 2 gents really need to focus on helping out our men here. So I'm going to maneuver them in a way that we can. Ooh, they're doing some... Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. All right, we got them bottlenecked there, so we need to take out these soldiers. So I'm going to engage, and I'm going to shoot them. Oh, this is getting messy. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to allow them to make their own decisions about who they're going to shoot, because right now, they're doing a bad job. So let's move them into good positions. Fight. We'll get some corner shots. Speed this up. Okay. We got to stop these gents. We're getting attacked from the side. We are getting hit from all types. This is all types of bad right now. All types of bad right now. Need to take them out quick. Alright. And then we need to help out our buddy over there. Yeah, he's getting pelted. Okay, cool. I think he just got hit by his own dudes. That looked pretty nasty. Alright, cool. And alright, so these dudes, I need to take out these archers because they're getting a little friendly. My swordsmen seem to be okay for the time being, but they're not going to be for long. So let's get this show on the road. Yeah, this isn't going the way that I thought it would. Alright, these gents are going to help out. We're going to have to get behind them. And these guys aren't doing shit. You guys need to start doing stuff. Yeah, this isn't going to go the way that I thought it was. We're going to lose some men. That's life. We're taking out the archers. This is messy. This is really messy. Everyone is just so disorganized that yeah. Okay, we're gonna take these soldiers. We're on their way. We'll take them out in one go. Billow. Right. I am actually gonna pull all these. Okay, we won. Well, the war is over. They won't even be able to use these units against me. That was pretty bad though. That did not go to plan. That did not go to plan at all. So, what did I learn from that? One, just pick a level playing field. That would have been much better. Okay, so we need to start upgrading these plots to tier 2. We have a lot to do. We still technically beat the Lord. Well, I didn't beat him in a sustainable way. I lost men. All right, we're gonna start tier 3 in a lot of this stuff. All right, cobbler. All right, we're in good shape. I'm not too worried about some of this stuff, but we lost a lot of good men. That was a bad battle. A lot of good men were lost. Okay, eek. That's a lot. Well, we need to put someone in the church to help bury them. It's going to take them a bit. Most likely, the majority of those bodies will disappear normally. It takes about like a year or so. So, we're going to have a little bit of a penalty for a while. It's just too many bodies to bury. But, you know, we'll get through it. Things are going our way. We definitely need to start producing a lot more widgets. So we have 20 crossbows. How many widgets do I got? Got 20 iron parts. All right. And that's from the blacksmith here. Let's put this as a highest priority possible. Things are going our way now. Lovely. Winter is approaching. We're at 1.2 thousand food. We're actually fairly sufficient now. There are a lot of bodies in our apple fields, man. That's ruthless. I wish I could use the ox to cart away all the bodies, man. Hitting all of our efficiencies. Perfect. Alright, we got 344. Let's get some more guys. Keep throwing money into it. We're in good shape. We're basically just running the clock now. Getting people in here. Got some tier 3ers. I think we're going to have to turn our clay furnace back fully on. Forger huts are doing a fantastic job. Okay, clay furnace is already on. So we don't have to worry too much about upgrading and running out of those clay roof tiles. So we're going to keep going. This is beautiful. Like we're having a little bit of an alcohol problem. I'm going to put 2 families into this area. We have plenty of hooch. We've been selling a little, but sometimes you just need to bump it up with an extra guy to help. Doing the overstock mechanic. So basically, this is supply and demand by burgage. This can fulfill 50 burgage plots. We have 25. So by doing an overstock, it's going to always be moving enough booze to have enough for all the burgage plots plus your overstock amount. So it's a good way also to counter entertainment issues. Say we're back to 100. Pretty beefy. All right. I think what I'm going to do now is turn this logging camp off because I think it's hurting us more than anything at this point. We need to replenish the land. Forester hut over here, we're going to place 1 individual. And I don't believe that we're going to need too much more logging. We're getting full. A good thing to do in this situation, honestly, is to put 1 more camp down. That's where you can store logs. Just as a way to store more logs, not to increase production at this point for us. So everything over here is going to tier 3. Ooh, that's a tier. Wow. I just realized these guys are facing this way. These guys are facing this way. That's right. It actually looks kind of dorky, but whoa! I did not do that. That was weird. Going around. All the trees are gone. It makes the whole town look different. The town look way different. We gotta make it look cool now. It actually looks bad without the trees, so I gotta replant some of them trees. We're gonna move some industries around. This is doing well enough. It's a little chaotic. I think the best thing to do is to go into the ground mode to see, does it look cool. It looks slightly cool. I think the area that I like the most, to be honest though, is right here. This is the area that looks cool because it's this big stretch of land between the farmland going into the apple orchards from everything. These are the farmlands. Those are the vegetable patches right here. Over there. That looks pretty tight. Okay, this whole thing is vegetables. They haven't wintertime. So this is crazy. That's how big these farm plots are, man. That's pretty tight. And then you've got these long strips. This actually looks really cool. Yeah, this is dope. This is really nice. This actually has that total medieval vibe coming up on a small little village, but that's this area right here. Got Nectar Road right here going through just to make things all nice. I like it. And then what's the view from like right over here? Look down. Yep, see the town. Got the granary in the center storage area. Got multiple pathways with apple trees. Looking really nice. Ooh, you can actually see inside the building. Can't walk in there. Yeah, that's looking great too. So, just a couple of things I'd probably change on some of this, but for the most part, things are coming together pretty well. I think that for aesthetic reasons, I want to get a forester hut up right here and start replanting trees in the town, because it looks really barren right now, and it's kind of creeping me out. Another thing I like to do with the shrines is kind of give a cemetery look. So I'll come to the back of the church area, and I'll just lay a bunch of shrines. It always looks like gravestones. I can't wait till we get more decorations. I feel like the fact that I only have 1 decoration and I've been able to create so many towns that to me feel unique, it's a good indication that with proper decorations that there are no limitations to kind of cool cities that we can build in this game. It's gonna be really cool. Yeah, there we go. Not bad. Not bad at all. I know that some people have done some really creative things with farm plots and just like small strips. Like we have to turn the snap to row tool off. Like that. You can create kind of like little shrubbery pathways. We don't want anyone to really have to come out here and do anything, but it is a neat concept because you can do quite a bit with it. That was one little neat trick. The other one is the docklands trick. So I'll show you that one too. It was like, what do you mean the docklands trick? Well, if you take a road, you know, you have these bridges. If you can get it lined up correctly, you can kind of get this boardwalk vibe, and it's really cool. This is actually the perfect place for it, but it keeps going out. So if I had enough goods, I could put a bridge across this that would look kind of like a dock. And I want to do that. So we need to get to 60 boards, and we can do that. That's a pretty good goal for us. So let's look about for the saw pit. We're going to go to advanced. We're going to boot this up to 100. I think we're doing well. We have 36 timber, 56 plank, logging camp right here doing nothing, forester camp doing nothing. Put 2 people in there. Do another forester's hut, and its job is to completely repopulate the city. The trees, make it look more lived in. I think that's going to look great. We have 3 extra families. Our army is growing mighty strong. Okay, so the joiner and all that is fantastic. I think that we are at a point where we have more than enough that I can switch back to some of the sword production so we can get those individuals up. Switch that to 40. We'll have to remember to come back and switch this around. Speed this back up. Yeah, we're getting close to a full army. I think it's mainly a limitation of the families at this point. Forester, perfect. Okay. Yeah, we're going to make this place really pretty. It's going to be great. And we got a good disbursement there. All the freaking vegetables here, though. That is nuts. There's so many. But we're almost at a winter. Things are going our way. This is looking good. Tanner right in the middle of all the houses is probably not how it would actually be. Yeah, I like the little paths, but yeah, you can have the little shrub pathways around things, and it does give an aesthetic that is kind of nice. But once we hit that sweet 60 on planks, it could be a little difficult because we have so many things consuming planks right now. So yeah, we got that. But yeah, once we get some more trees in here, right now it's just, you know, very barren. It looks terrible, but we'll get there. Still have all our berry bushes. Logging camps are going a little crazy over here. Not bad though. All right, we got a royal tax increase. That's never good. We're meeting our tax obligations, but we should definitely get our retinue maxed out. All right, I'm feeling pretty confident that we're going to be able to take the Lord. We're going to try to take a territory. We have 1.5 thousand. We just need a little bit more. We'll do a tariff here in a bit. We'll try to take this middle ground here. I like to take territories that take bandits a bit of time to get to. It's easier for you to muster men out to protect them. All right, look at that. All those trees coming back in. This is looking nicer already. Get these houses to tier 3. And once we get enough sidearms and we get everybody equipped, I can switch back to making the parts for crossbows. We have 50 crossbows right now, so that's great. Actually, we have enough crossbows for everything that we're trying to do. So I'm going to switch this back to warbow production, because that's what we're trading. And we don't have to worry about the other stuff. We're golden. Yep, trade is doing fantastic. Let's come over here to trade. Let's see what we traded in the previous month, negative 540. That is from... Yeah, we should have gained 540. That's so interesting. All right, let's just look at exports. We exported 605, imported 65. Perfect. Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if that's in factoring in the king's tax or something. But in the previous year, yeah, it's doing the same thing where it's red. Very odd. That must be a glitch. But we're exporting a lot more than importing. And I don't think it's glitching in the fact that you can see our regional wealth is through the roof. It's just how it's being viewed. It's showing as a negative when it should be a positive. All right, let's get that constructed. Yeah, I love the way this stuff looks during the summer periods of time. Trees are really dope. I like all of this. Looks great. Once we get the trees back, we kind of deforested our town and made it look really bad. Made it look very impoverished. So we got to fix that. We got foresters at work planting trees in people's backyards. We got our little makeshift graveyard. Things are going our way. Got 100%. I think I could actually pull back one individual in the storehouse, but we're gonna leave it. We have 6 free families. Let's upgrade the brewer. 4 families making booze is never a bad thing. Keep going. All right, we're doing good up top. Got everything over there going on. This is great. I think I'm going to take a road and... Oop, couldn't do it. Yeah, we'll do it like that. It's always nice to have extra roads. Yeah, this is looking good already. Perfect. Need families to kind of move into these zones down here. We're going to upgrade this well for aesthetic reasons. Charcoal's doing fantastic. I mean, we're making a killing. Charcoal and warbows really are just an insane strategy. All right, look at our food situation though. Veggies, berries, bread, apples. Apples are a little bad, but I think we're about to get a bunch. We're just prime before season. There's a couple of things I was thinking. I was thinking about getting rid of this road, which kind of sucks. Adds a little bit to it. But if I were to get another apple in this space, I don't know if it'd be effective enough. The road is a little big. This actually causes issues, but oof, yeah. Yeah. There's actually a way around this, which is to, oh my god, this is an awful plot point. Is to do something like this and then you know, flip it around like such. You can sometimes get this to work, but this looks awful. This looks dreadfully awful. So if I take the snap the road tool off, that's the problem too, is that you do is start the first point, then turn it on, see if you can get it to work. But yeah, it's the worst plot I've ever seen in my life. I could probably get it to work if I took the tip off like this. This will probably actually do pretty well. In fact, if I can get this all out. This is honestly the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. It's almost a work of art. It's so bad it's good. No, it's not. It's bad and it's not good. It's not a work of art. It's atrocious. We're never gonna do that again. Okay. We're gonna draw a straight line from the granary through everything. We're just gonna leave it the way that it was. Never talk about that again. That was terrible. Terrible. So I guess we could use some actual other food types to reduce the amount of meat and apples that are being consumed, so that they can go to quantities that are useful for us. So in this situation, what I'm going to do is place a granary that is just for collecting eggs, and I want to place it in a location that is apt for all of the egg gathering that we need. Here is actually not too bad. It's a little off the beaten path, but it should do a pretty good job. We're just going to do eggs. We're not even going to do a market stall here. And it's time to go crazy. It's chicken time. Chicken time indeed. So all of these gents are going to be making chickens. It's a wonderful day. We could have gone with meat, but I don't want to. I want to go with eggs. You get 12 eggs a year basically per burgage plot, and with all the perks that I have, you'll get 8 meat. Makes sense if you're trying to do a meat industry, but we're not. So we're not going to do that. All right, upgrade that burgers plot. Get the chickens. Chicken time. All right. So now what we can do is turn everything off here but eggs, and place our individual into the individual family into there, and then upgrade that to a large for the decrease in spoilage. And then we can get some more chickens going. I might want to do a back road from the granary into the chicken area. But we're doing fantastic already. Back road. Road. There we go. Perfect. Gives us more logistical powers. So this is great. We're going to have a bunch of chicken eggs in here. Everyone's going to love it. Let's get the chickens going and come back through and do other stuff later. That will just help us maintain our 4 food varieties. I love that change, that this came in the last patch, where it will eat foods all equally, because and also the market stalls will stock exactly how much you need of everything. It's beautiful. It really is. I don't know why clothing is 95%. I think that's going to remedy itself here momentarily. Could be that we're not producing enough we're not producing enough hides and leather. So let's see. Leather. So another thing that we may want to do is set reserves. So let's go over to the cobbler, the advanced tab. The reserve here. What does the reserve do? The building stop production if the region's surplus of this resource is less than or equal to the reserve. So we're going to set a reserve of 50. It will stop production if the surplus is less than the reserve. That way we only have, well, we don't even need 50. We need enough for all the burgage plots that we have, which is 28. So we need 30. And because we need 30, I like to go with 10 more than, like a little bit more than we need, just to account for variables like in the game being weird and things not being counted properly. It just happens all the time. All right, we're at 100%. We're in good shape. Things are going to be golden for us. So we remedied that scenario, in that situation, I should say. Pretty darn good. We got 15 months of fuel, 260 barley, 280. Oh no, taxes keep going up. All right, we got a full army, it looks like. I'm feeling pretty comfortable about everything. We have 31 crossbows, 17, nope, sorry, 13 sidearms, 50 small shields. All right, so we're not going to use boards as much anymore, which means I can probably get my boardwalk. Not enough goods. Okay. We'll get there. Nope, we're there. I'm going to pause the game. There we go. So yeah, we have the potential to make a really cool boardwalk here. There we go. I'm going to do it from this side. There we are. We got the boardwalk now. We got our little bridge. Nobody will ever use this, but I like the way that it looks. Gives it that kind of like dockland. Look at that. Isn't that freaking cool? Like a boardwalk, basically. If you don't look at it from this angle and you look at it from up top, I think this actually looks cooler. Yeah, it's got that dockland view. Beautiful, isn't it? There we go. We got one person walking across. That looks so dope. I love it. But that's the dockland effect. Magnificent. Magnificent. I'm really hoping that they actually input more things like that, like fishing and off of docks and stuff. I know these things are nice and these resource nodes are nice, but there's a nice aesthetic when, you know, fishing actually takes place in a body of water that could support it. Whatever. I guess some people have some awesome fish ponds, but I don't know if they could feed a whole city. All right, 100%. Got 15 free families. I literally don't know what to do with all these people. We're just going to start putting people to work. We're doing really well. Get 3 people in the windmill. Oh, we got a lot going on. Malt house. Let's get 2 people in the ovens. Get, yeah, these shouldn't have market stalls. So get 2 people collecting, 2 families collecting eggs. We're just going to go down the line. Make sure everybody's doing something good. Get this up. Perfect. Got more chickens. So the rise of the chickens should really put a dent in our food supplies. It'll be a wonderful, wonderful thing for us. Everything over here is looking hunky-dory now. Yeah, this is great. This is great. I like the feel of this. This is actually, with the trees being planted in here, the city's really coming along. I mean, I like the coastal area for everything that we're building. It's a kind of a trippy little farming community. I'm just, you know, I don't know. This is kind of like, for me, it's like, I'm like Bob Ross if like maybe he was dropped as a child or something like that. Like the genius is there, but it's a little damp. You can see it shine through in moments, but there's obviously something wrong. Oh my god. Okay. But yeah, no, I like it. That's all that matters. This is great. Perfect. Large storehouse is doing fantastic. Yeah, oh cool. This is actually neat how it kind of goes uphill. All right, so this is what we really have to do is get the bird eye view from. Oh, good lord. I wanted to get a bird eye view. I didn't. Okay, so that dream has been dashed. The dream has been dashed. But let's see what this looks like. Oh, that's... I always like the... it's kind of interesting. Like when you're looking at this from up top, you're just like, oh, I have all these houses side by side. But when you go into the alleyway, I mean, they really do kind of come alive. It's pretty sweet. I mean, the architecture is a little questionable, like this stuff here. But outside of that, let's go find some chickens though. Where are my chickens? Chickens are here. I can sense them. I don't think there's a family living here, so they're not doing anything. Oh, yeah, there's the stone well. Yeah, the stone well looks pretty dope. I love the animations. Like, you can actually see them doing... Where did that water go? Witch! Witch! Alright. The water disappeared. Okay, we got 9 free families. Let's get this show on the road. We're doing awesome. I think we're at a point where all the wood is full, so they're not going to have to do as much. Foresters, we're going to place 2 individuals into that one. I think we're at a good place. We're just going to go around and kind of overdo it, I think. But for the most part, we're getting massive approval bonuses. We're bringing in more than enough taxes on everything. I don't actually feel the need to increase taxes whatsoever. The next goal is, of course, destroying a lord. So we're going to need to go into taxes and do a tithe. We're going to do a very, very small tithe. Going to eat foods equally. You can see the eggs are coming in to help out. Look at apples now. 600 apples. Okay, now they're fully mature finally. 400 bread. We're producing more food than anyone could ever need. That's pretty cool. Yeah. The city is definitely finally sustained. I like it when you use foresters to start planting trees in the city. It makes it look a lot more realistic. It's not just this barren hellscape that you've created. But this is all glorious. This is all the work that has been done. And yeah, the city is really starting to come alive. But we're going to let more time pass. We're going to let more of these houses get upgraded. Let's come in here and just start upgrading everything we possibly can to tier 3. Yes, lots of tier 3 potential here. More families. And our army is getting... Oh, our army's like there. We're like a few families shy. Alright, let's do this. Let's fast forward just a tad bit here. Alright, the trees are finally starting to make their way back after we destroyed everything. Things are starting to come around. I don't know what to do with all these extra people. There are so many of them. I really can't put them in too many places, to be honest. This is quite impressive. Quite impressive indeed. I already have 2 families completely dedicated to egg gathering. Looks like we ate a lot of the eggs. And that's fine. Like I said, every time we eat the eggs, it's 1 less of every other food that, you know, we're eating. So we have more families that need to move in here. We have a full army. We're nearing the 2,000 influence needed to take a region. So that's my goal right now, is I want to take the war to the Lord and show him that we're cooler. And, well, we might not be cooler, but I do want to show him that we can kick his ass. And that makes us cooler at my book. So let's see, we got 84 planks. So I do want to get a bridge this way. That way we can kind of use this for a defensive point. Also just to help us move around a little bit faster. We have the bridge there. We have a lot going on for us. I think I was going to try to take the center region. I think we're going to take this region here, because it's the coolest region and it's right next to us. Will also allow us to build bridges from here to here and from here over to, well, yeah, we can't scale that cliff, so this is kind of a bad one, but we're going to take it. It's going to be ours. I just like that the trees are finally coming back into the town. All right, the Lord is coming back. He wants another piece of the pie. Okay, well, he's going to get reamed. He's going to get reamed. We're at 324. We can actually do a full army. I'm happy with what we got, though. It's absolutely more than enough. Let's get everybody out and about. Let's start this bandwagon. They're going to pop out from over here. And we're going to attempt to not repeat the mistake we made last time. I'm going to use all of this, but I'm going to let them come to me. And I'm going to leave these guys out in front. It'll be much cleaner. The goal here is keep everything organized. Keep these guys 2 file deep. Get everybody right here. Everybody right here. And if I can defeat this army before the other army gets here, just like last time, we're going to be in good shape. This is beautiful. We're actually gonna position these guys like that. I'm gonna position these guys like this too. We need to spread out just a tad bit because this is a little weird. Let's speed this up. Let's see what mistakes they make. All right, cool. We got a good shot coming straight down. So they're going to get reamed. This is, ooh, they're already dropping. Crossbowmen are stupidly overpowered. Yeah, they're just coming. They're like fish in a barrel in that thing. Yeah, a few have dropped already. We're going to take a lot more with us. I don't think they're going to make it too close to us. This is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. Come on, one more shot. One more shot. Oof. Okay, so this isn't good because they're going to try to close the gap. So we're going to pull this guy back and we're going to pull this guy to the side to shoot anybody that charges past. Yeah, we're going to have a problem here. I hate when they don't follow my orders as well. You can see that they're not. Okay, cool. We did a good job. Enemy unit spotted. Gotta be really careful here. Perfect. Alright, we're breaking them, Yeah, the crossbowmen are gods. And we just need to kill this unit. Alright. We won. So, that was awesome. We already have everybody out and about. And what I think we should do is come and take this right here. Because their guys are all the way down there. That's funny. Okay. So we're going to run all the way up here. I'm going to tell them to start walking. Let's get them all the way up there. Let's take this property. I'm going to turn off the tithe because I hate this thing so much. I hate tithes so much. They're pretty painful. Let's get everybody up there. We have more than enough men to kill everybody. I know I'm one man shy on my retinue, but that's okay. We got the trees in. Battle. The battle is commenced. Okay. So we just need to get up there and be prepared. They might actually pop out another army right over here in a second. But we're going to be ready for them. Alright, so they're moving. Ooh, the bandits are attacking. So this is actually a weird issue because I have bandits attacking. And I don't think that these are... This is weird. Alright, we need to be smart. So, first things first. Get our army into position. The standard position. Archer, yeah. And then let's watch this from afar. Make sure we don't have to run back and kill these guys too. Weird. Yeah. I mean, these mercenary units are pretty good. So here we are. I'm trying to figure out where they are. Okay. We're in good shape. But yeah, if they can't defeat these units, oof. Okay. So they're going to start trying to burn everything down. Oh boy. I'm going to send a crossbowman and this gent back. There's a possibility that the banditos will engage with the enemy lord. I feel confident that we can kill a few of these gents. I'm not sure what they're going to try to do. I think they're going to try to take this. So if I can get my men right here, and I can get that crossbow right there, that is going to be glorious, and we need them to run. Ooh, not good. Not good. Don't think they'll make it there in time, but we'll try. Oh, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Okay. We're going to have to... Yeah, we're going to have to... I didn't realize I was going to get attacked by bandits at the same time I was doing this. Well, this definitely proves the point, right? If I can take... Oh, God. Made it inside. Yeah, if I can take this and defeat the Lord... Oh, he's going to burn some stuff. Are they swimming? Are they, like, stuck under the world? Okay, yeah. No, they're not stuck under the world. They got in. They got in. Oh, my God, man. Oh, good times. Good times, everybody. All right, here come the banditos. Stop here. Let's see what we can do. The banditos are coming towards us. We're gonna rebuild. It's gonna be great. All right, we broke them. We're gonna let all of them come to us. The enemy lord. There's two banditos. The enemy lord's right there. Okay, cool. So we can bait them. They're gonna attack the enemy lord. That's perfect. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. They did so much damage. Oh man. That's I kind of feel like I had that coming. I don't know why. I don't know what I did, but I did something to deserve all of that. But here we go. It's cool. We can rebuild all of this very easy. It's not the end of the world. It's coming next step. There's no next episode. But here we go. All right, cool. Oh, good God. Stop burning things down. Dude, some of them escaped. It looks like their archers peppered them. Please stop burning my city. Oh my God. They're just like... That one dude, like, all of his friends are dying. He's like, me burn city? Like, no. Stop burning my city. Okay. Alright. Yeah, they have to come to me. Things are gonna be alright. That was a bit of an intense little interlude there. But yeah, we're in good shape. We got a lot of soldiers coming at us. No biggie. 61 days. Alright. They're gonna come at us from the bottom here. So let's get everybody into position. Alright, here we go. Battle begins. It looks like they sent a pretty tame army at me. I mean, I already know I can beat the Lord. We beat his army when he came. I'm a little annoyed though. It's like between the banditos and this, they're sending their B team at me. I was prepared for this epic smackdown and they send the B team. Alright, let's just charge. Let's just charge like men, wild men. Yeah, I'd probably start running. I wouldn't be standing there waiting for that to hit. Alright, let's speed this up. They're about to get slapped. Yeah, our men are just better than them. Yeah, there we go. They can't do much against us. I don't even need my crossbowmen. There we go. We took their land. Oh my God. What an epic conclusion, I suppose. But thank you guys for watching. I mean, this was a pretty fun city to build. Manor Lords is always a game that people seem to enjoy watching, and I seem to enjoy playing, so stay tuned. I know when the next patch comes out, I'll be dropping a lot of Manor Lords content. Thank you guys so much again. Have a good rest of your day.